This is The Rich Eisen Show.
Mooch, you there?
Yeah.
We noticed it was the 20th anniversary of Tom Brady being drafted today.
Live from The Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
And we wanted to wish you a happy Giovanni Carmazzi Day, Steve.
I hate your guts.
Today's guests, NFL analyst Charles Davis, Denver Broncos linebacker Von Miller, NFL Network analyst Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, plus actor Jeffrey Wright. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
Wow, what a Friday show that we have in store for you. I want to send a special hello, a special how you doing to everybody who has been listening to the Rich Eisen Show for 5+ years on Sirius XM. And we're now back. We're thrilled to be on the air right after Dan Patrick every single day, right here on channel 211, Dan Patrick Radio. Thrilled to be here. I know we've got a lot of tweets from people. Where have you been? What's going on? It's just it was a business thing. But we're all good in the hood, and we're thrilled to be on our simulcast here today on channel 211 Sirius XM. We're on our YouTube stream every single day from 12 to 3 Eastern, and Sirius every single day from 12 to 3 Eastern. And then right in the middle of our show, at the top of hour number 2, it's hour number 1 on NBCSN every single day from 1 to 3 Eastern time. You call us at 844-204-RICH. You're heard, you're seen, you're streamed. You're with us.
We're everywhere.
Good to see you, Christopher Brockman. How
Hey,
are
what's
you?
happening, buddy? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, Michael Del Tufo.
Same to you, Rich. How you doing?
And
Good morning.
I appreciate you doing all your work to hook us up. I know we're all.
I was
good.
sketching a little,
We're good.
Rich.
Boy, do we have a full show. We have a full show, to say the least. Von Miller is going to be joining us first up at 1 Eastern time when we're on NBC, and we don't usually start our an hour with a guest right off the bat of a show that is starting in a way, as it will on NBCSN at 1 Eastern time. But we're going to roll with Von and check in with him. And it was announced yesterday he is tested positive for COVID-19. And we'll let him tell his story. He's feeling okay, but he has asthma. And as you know, this is a respiratory disease. It is no joke. I'm sure everybody out there knows more and more people who have had it or have heard about more and more people who have passed away from it. And if you are somebody who knows anybody who's passed away from it, our condolences to you. And if you know anybody who's fighting it, we're thinking of it. We're thinking of your friend, your loved one, your compadre. We're thinking of ours as well. And Von's going to be first up. He said in the second hour, 10 o'clock hour Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern, he is saying he wants to share his story. We'll ask him why. First up, period, on this show, right in the middle of this first hour, is our friend Charles Davis. And Charles is one of our favorite people. He knows so much about everything and will not tell you he does. That's why he's so great. And he is part of our annual draft coverage leading up to the draft and then during the draft of NFL Network. This time around, though, Charles will be just talking about the draft on shows like this one, and as we will announce at the top of our final hour. Now it's at the top of our final hour with the commissioner of the National Football League joining us. There's a whole new way for you to supplement your viewing of the 2020 draft starting next Thursday.
All right.
I will be hosting it. And I'm very excited to share that with you. It will come out in dribs and drabs on this show.
Okay.
And we'll be just in full-blown out there in hour number 3 of this show with Roger Goodell. If you've already read about it or heard about Draftathon coming to a stream, digital platform, or social media platform near you, it's coming. And I will be with you starting next Thursday night with Draftathon. We'll talk about that with Roger Goodell. Daniel Jeremiah will be joining us right in the middle of hour number 2 of this show. My compadre moved the sticks. 1 week from today, we will know the names of the first 32 draftees in the National Football League 2020 draft. And
can't wait.
We had Mel Kiper on yesterday, Daniel Jeremiah today, And then we'll have an interesting chat in hour number 3 with 2 actors who have been on this show before. And they're both coming on to talk about raising money to fight COVID-19 and also help those who are on the front lines of fighting it. Jeffrey Wright, the star of HBO's Westworld. Well, I mean, he's one of the stars. One of the other stars is Marshawn Lynch in season number 3. You know, Evan Rachel Wood, Aaron Paul. Marshawn Lynch.
Beast mode.
The hell's he doing there?
Tearing it up.
Jeffrey Wright will come on to discuss how he has started a GoFundMe page to feed healthcare workers in Brooklyn, New York, Queens, the outer boroughs, if you will, of New York City is where COVID-19 is hitting the hardest in New York City, which is the hottest of the hottest spots of the big cities in our great country. And Jeffrey Wright will join us in that regard. And Tom Everett Scott of right now on True TV, I'm Sorry. He's on that show. And he's coming on at the very end of our program to talk about a fundraiser on behalf of the musician who wrote much of the music for That Thing You Do, Adam Schlesinger, who passed away, the songwriter, producer, who passed away from COVID-19 recently. The Wonders are getting back together today for a YouTube watch party of That Thing You Do. And Tom Everett Scott, young squire, will join us at the end of hour number 3 to give us that information. I love that movie. That movie is perfect, start to finish, and one of the most underrated Tom Hanks films, period. If you ask me my favorite 5 Tom Hanks films.
Oh, go.
I have mine. That's in it.
That's in it.
100%.
That's in it. Honestly, what Forrest Gump, Big,
Castaway.
Good.
Castaway, Band of Brothers isn't. I mean, not Band of Brothers. Band
Saving
of
Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan.
That would be hard.
And then there's That Thing You Do.
I put Saving Private Ryan big out.
No Toy Story.
Really?
No, Big. See ya. I like Big, but I put Saving Private
Susie
Ryan.
asked the other day, because we're trying to come up with films
You've
that
got
our
mail,
kids.
obviously. No Apollo 13 for
I know,
you.
right?
I mean, that
know,
would be. He
I
has a
know,
10.
I know.
Philadelphia, a league of their own.
Yeah, he's got a 10. You can't do a 5.
No, you got to keep it to 5. Actually, we'll keep it to 4. Mount Rushmore, Tom Hanks films. Call us right now.
How do you know? I have to include That Thing You Do. It is
It's
beautiful movie. It is a wonderful movie. It is perfectly written and acted and
Dragnet is also
Dragnet.
from the 80s days.
Oh my
starring
God.
the Virgin Connie Swale.
Well done.
I loved
I'm here all
Dragnet.
week.
I did too.
That was funny. He did do a great.
I mean, Tom Hanks is great and everything.
Oh, of course.
I didn't see the I did not see the Mr. Rogers film. I just missed that.
I did.
So,
He's he's not the star of the movie, but he's
right, I know.
amazing in
Well,
it.
he's Tom Hanks, for crying out loud.
He is.
Okay.
Charlie Wilson's War.
So we've set the stage here. We have set our stage here. On the
Monster show today.
I mean, we've got
Monster.
6 guests.
Monster. We couldn't even fit Tom Everett Scott on the board.
I know, our buddy
I know.
Tom Everett Scott. And again, I can't wait to chat with him at the very end of our program and our end of our first week here on our new triple cast. And I'm glad that we're on Sirius XM channel 211. It's been very important for us to be a simulcast and program. And I just love, I love DP like a brother, and the fact that he has been in front of our show on audience for all those years, and now on Sirius on a channel that bears his name. Love the guy, love all the Danettes, and the fact that we've been kind of attached at the hip for all those years. And the fact that this show exists on this campus is because Dan Patrick's success, caused DirecTV to figure out how to shoulder that program.
1,000%.
So, means a lot. Means a lot is what I'm saying. So, 1 week from today, we
hear Joe Burrow's name first overall.
1 week from today, I'm coming on the air. I'm saying the following. This is Rich Eisen's mock draft 1.0 or 0.5. I don't do mock drafts. It's a half a mock. Well, actually, it's one. It's like one. It's like one. Well, if there's 32 and I'm giving you 5, I don't even know. My kids are working on fractions at home. It's like, are you smarter than a third grader? And the answer is like half the time, no.
Like, yeah, definitely not.
You know.
How did we get through that back in the day?
So, because my Coop in his class, they're supposed to find items in the house that have fractions on it. So
Okay.
I'm like, okay, let's get, like a
measuring
measuring
cup.
cup.
Right,
Right?
exactly, yeah, of
Right.
course.
No. It's get a towel with stripes on it, count the stripes, and how many are the stripes are different colors. So it's a blue and white towel with 13 stripes. The white stripes are 6/13, the blue stripes are 7/13. And my son looks at me and goes, Dad, what is 6/13?
A little less than half, buddy.
It's more than half, isn't it?
You
a
wouldn't
little less than half. See
you
what I mean?
wouldn't make the playoffs.
I'm so verbal. I mean, the SATs are just like a nightmare for me with the math. But anyway, whatever, 30 seconds. I'll give you my top 5. Or should I do 6? Here goes 6. All right.
Tom, did you play music for us?
Nah, don't worry about it. Music,
Yeah.
just leave it alone.
That's true.
We're playing the same song over and over, and it's in our heads
We
here,
really are.
okay?
I know.
I'm working.
All right. No, it's got nothing to do with you. I'm sorry, my audio executive. But here we go. Rich Eisen Show, mock draft 0.3, whatever it is. We're coming on the air this time next week. We're like, man, Joe Burrow, that was a no-brainer. Joe Burrow, the new Tiger King. He is the Joe Exotic of Cincinnati now in the jungle. He is Joe Burrow, the savior of the Cincinnati Bengals, who will hopefully have a better fate than, say, Carson Palmer or anybody else that they drafted high there. Should we mention Klingler or Ware? Right? Do we go Ware? Should we just go any high draft pick? Kajana Carter or Big Daddy Wilkinson, who they drafted because Marshall Faulk told the Bengals, "Don't you dare look in my direction." So that's number 1. Number 2 overall is Chase Young to Washington. Isn't that amazing? They're going to try and do what every single successful NFC team has been doing, which is put 19,000 pass rushers all over the line and just go hunt. 49ers did it. The NASCAR package that Seattle called their front line. We're seeing all the old school highlights, and it is old school, 2007 of Strahan and the Giants. That's 13 years ago. I mean, like, kids who were born then are going to be bar mitzvahed this year. So
That's before your kids.
I know it is. Well, I mean, Susie was pregnant with our oldest at that Super Bowl.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
Achilles Smith, don't forget him, Rich.
oh my gosh, my bad. Was Ware a Detroit Lion, I think? Anyway.
Andre Ware, yeah.
So,
Won the Heisman Trophy.
Chase Young, congratulations to him. The Lions trade out, Dolphins trading up. They just got an itchy trigger for Tua. They're not going to let him go. Lions are going to trade down to 5. Dolphins are going to trade up. They're going to take Tua at 3. Then the Giants, man. Then the Giants.
What does Gettleman in that empty room do?
And I can't wait to talk to both Charles Davis and Daniel Jeremiah about this because everybody's all over the map. I've seen Tristan Wirfs in that slot. I've seen Jedrick Wills in that slot. I've seen Isaiah Simmons in that slot. Daniel Jeremiah has Isaiah Simmons going to the Browns at 10.
No way he drops 10.
I spoke to
No chance,
a
dude.
Cleveland Brown fan, diehard, yesterday, our boy Reed.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, Isaiah Simmons at 10. And I'm like, on what planet?
No.
On what planet?
No way. That dude is top 5 worthy. Whether he goes top 5, we'll see.
But Gettleman will just, turn on the computer.
Can he do that? Does he know how?
Talking to the mouse. You see the one plug that's got in the wall right there. He's going to unplug it and plug it back in to reboot it because that's the way I handle it.
Yeah, that's probably a space heater.
Is that the space heater underneath the desk?
Not even connected.
Right? And
chances Gettleman's laptop runs out of power during the draft.
I don't know.
High. 6/13, I think. 6/13.
So I'm giving the shrug emoji here. I think they got to go lineman.
Have to. Have to. Whichever one you like best. There's those three guys. Take one.
How about Mel Kiper yesterday saying that Daniel Jones has proven he is a franchise quarterback in the NFL?
I need to see more tape.
When he started 2-0, he did, but I mean,
we got lucky to beat the Bucs in the first one. I mean, it's just like I need to see more from Daniel Jones.
Right?
I need to see a healthy Saquon, and I need to see them operating at full power offensively, which we haven't seen.
And the Lions at 5 take Jeff Okudah, and then at 6, the Chargers go and get Justin Herbert, rip the knob off. That's that. Those are your top 6. That's my prediction. And the Lions will be trying to call Telesco up as Telesco's got his, he's got his 5. He's got his 19 screens. And they'll try and get him on one of those screens, on one of those phones, on one of those Zooms.
Yeah, Tom Telesco knows how everything works.
There we go. The Moose be involved in the trade is an excellent question from Don Bowie in the back. And
he literally has 6 times the monitors of Gettleman.
Well, but I think Bob Quinn and the Lions are going to try and get a pick out of that guy to go from 6 to 5 to get their quarterback. That's what and if the Lions get.
Do you think the Lions go to 5?
Well, the Lions go from 3 to 5, and hopefully from them 5 to 6.
5 to 6, right?
Get more picks and still get Jeff Okudah.
I think that's smart.
That's their plan. At least that's what my plan would be. There's Gettleman trying to trade down right now. There he is.
That's like the third floor of his house.
Who's taking the photograph? Who's taking the photograph? Is that his wife or somebody in the house? Right there?
But why is that the angle that he's like, hey, this is the great spot?
He's locked in right there.
Sure.
By the way,
trading Odell Beckham.
We are all in. We are all in on teams sending us.
I want all of these
photographs.
Photos. I want all of them. The one photo we won't get is Belichick's. I know.
It's just put that one more time.
I want all of these photos.
It's the if you put the Gettleman shot up one more time, it's the lotion in front of the Purell. It's like the liquid lineup. The lotion, the knob of the lotion
is facing the other way.
Other way. And it's the Purell.
I don't want to know what's going on.
And it's the double notepad on the back. Like it's like one legal pad on top of another.
Also, how big is that binder?
Look at the chair. Like that would kill my back. My ass would hurt literally in 20 seconds. Is that a polar bear coffee mug, Don? Is that what that is? It's a post-it
on the computer.
On the computer that appears to have a trackpad, but he's using the mouse.
That's his password.
I was going to say, that thing definitely has the username and password.
Yeah, it's username and password.
No way. And his password is something dumb like New York Giants 1 or something.
No. It's Odell Gone.
13.
1. Yeah. Odell Gone 13 exclamation point because you need at least a punctuation mark. Yeah, you got to do the character.
Exit 18W. MetLife.
Oh, yeah.
It's 16W.
16W. I'm sorry.
Dude.
That's right.
You went away a long time.
25 years.
Go get your shine box.
16 is 280.
25 years.
Or 14 is 280. I've been gone.
18W. That's right. That's the George Washington Bridge, isn't it?
No, 16. I don't remember.
16W.
Stand by.
I have one.
Dude.
Rich is right. I should know that.
No, but I'm looking for the GW.
This is burned in my brain.
That could be coming down south and north. It could be different on the turnpike coming each way, too.
By the way, you know the George Washington Bridge is like $20 to drive over now?
That's crazy.
It's so expensive.
No, that's Charlotte behind him, too, right?
Yeah, it's not New York. It's Charlotte.
That's right. It is. It's 18W.
You're going to have to let me know when people are on the phone line because
I got you.
Somebody reset the... Who resets the computers around here? We're the only people around here.
We have a boogeyman, I think.
Nobody yet for CFD.
There's a boogeyman in here.
CFD is
like when you were a kid.
Seriously, we're the only people here.
There's a boogeyman.
By the way, people have called in about Tom Hanks' movies.
People want to talk Tom Hanks?
We got three on for Tom Hanks.
Call him out.
Let's go.
Chris.
Evan in Columbus, line 1.
What's up, Evan?
Hey, Rich. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for making it.
You know what? I have to take umbrage with. I believe it was Del Tufo that said that Big is not in his top 5. I mean, if you look at the film, it's a coming of age tale in the parlance of our time.
I agree, for sure.
The piano scene with him and Loja. I mean that's just all time stuff right there.
Well, we that's an FAO Schwartz.
Correct.
In New York City, and they have that set up there still to
I
this
think
day.
FAO
Kids
Schwartz
go
may
there.
be gone.
No, I know that.
Oh, I'm saying they
No.
have.
Oh, that's right. It is gone now.
It's
right?
gone.
Schwartz is gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
I went in there. They actually had it up until the 90s. I mean, before I moved out. He was there up until I moved in
Well,
94.
we've taken our kids there.
Yeah, so it was probably even obviously
Thanks for the
after.
call. Big is amazing. Have you seen? When was the last time you saw Big? It's really sad at
It's
the
been
end.
a couple years. Yeah, the
Yeah,
ending's
the
sad,
end is
obviously.
sad.
Elizabeth
You know,
Perkins.
we were
but,
talking about the other day because Susie and I are trying to figure out what movies we could watch with the kids that are,
Big might be a tough watch.
well,
with
that
the
we
kids,
could get through too, like watch as a family. Because with all due respect to the makers of Air Bud, I don't need to see the fourth iteration of Air Bud. And we just can't sit through that crap.
All right, Charles Davis is on. Ask him this.
So, long story short, it's Splash. We mentioned Splash. Do you think Splash is doable for the kids?
No, I don't.
Bachelor Party. I mean, there's so many.
Mike, he's not showing his kids Bachelor Party.
What is the matter with
You know
you?
what I'm saying?
It's a great movie.
All right, my buddy Charles Davis. This is directly up his alley, as is anything to do with the NFL draft and football and just life in general, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. It's good to hear your voice. I trust
brother.
you and your family are well,
You
and
too.
everyone that can hear our voices.
Hopefully. Everybody good with you? CD?
Yeah, so far so good. We
Excellent.
consider ourselves fortunate.
Well, good. So we've got a hell of a lineup here, Charles. You're first up, Von Miller, DJ, and then the commissioner of the NFL, two actors, Jeffrey Wright of Westworld, and then at the very end, Tom Everett Scott is going to join us because the Wonders from That Thing You Do are getting back together for a watch party later today to help raise money for Music Cares COVID-19 Relief Fund. And I put that on my top and my Mount Rushmore of Tom Hanks movies.
God Almighty, the Oneaters.
The Oneaters, correct. And so we were wondering what your Tom Hanks Mount Rushmore would be.
Oh God! Well, I heard you talking about Big, and I don't think there's any way you can get past that. I thought he was sensational in that. For me, burst onto the scene in Bachelor Party, but I saw that in college, and that is such a college movie. Like it's just absolutely perfect. Not a movie,
Right.
But when he was Uncle Ned on Family Ties.
Oh God! But Uncle Ned was somewhat inappropriate, if I'm not mistaken, Charles. It was one of the few times that Tom Hanks was a heel in anything.
He was beyond inappropriate. He hit Alex, for God's sake.
Dude,
and Dad jumped in and said, Ned, either get help or get the hell out of my house.
Oh,
Great
my
scene.
gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Davis going Family Ties on us here. All right, let's get into it, Charles. We come on the air 1 week from today, and the conversation from the previous night's draft, what are we talking about? What is the lead story, do you believe, predicting round one, best you can?
Well, look, it's going to be if indeed Tua does actually start a little bit of a fall. And what I mean by a little bit of a fall, does he not get plucked by Miami if they get a chance? Or does a team come up and jump them and take another quarterback in order to ensure they got their guy? Bucky Brooks put in his last mock draft, which I thought was very interesting, that Tua could slide to 9 and Jacksonville would halt the slide.
Oh, my gosh. They should light a candle right now, Charles.
Right?
They should light a candle in Duval County for that right now.
And you guys remember, and Rich, you were omnipresent that night when Dave Caldwell sent in Blake Bortles' name at number 3, and didn't even tell Mrs. Caldwell.
No, he told nobody. Nobody knew.
Told no one.
Yeah,
no one. It's one of the great. And in this day and age, some of the best subterfuge that you will ever have in an NFL draft, because he didn't even whisper it to anyone. Steve Spurrier, when he quit Florida, he told 2 people before he quit. Dave Caldwell didn't even tell his bride.
Right.
Well, honey, what do you think today? You'll find out with everyone else. I'm on my way out. See ya. Amazing. So that to me, that's going to be the monster story there. We know where the receivers are going to get their run. The tackles are going to get their run. I do think the Giants at 4 is interesting because Dave Gettleman has never traded down. All right, Coach Gettleman's never got out of the pick. But do you get the tackle to protect Daniel Jones? Or what if Isaiah Simmons is sitting there and the DNA of that franchise is very simply defense?
I know. He's going to be sitting there, Charles.
Your Jets at 11.
Well, he's definitely going to be sitting there, Isaiah Simmons, and that is a fascinating choice. What do you think of that choice if you are Gettleman and you are a couple of years in to your tenure there and you've got that young kid, Daniel Jones? You can obviously supplement Daniel Jones by getting him back on the field thanks to Isaiah Simmons, or you can supplement Daniel Jones by keeping him upright to survey the field and or hand it off to Saquon.
Rich, even before our lifetime and through our lifetime, the guys who got the best tables in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut metro area that were Giants were defenders. They always got the best tables. They were the celebrated stars at Touch Shores and everywhere else. You know that.
Yep.
But Coach Gettleman pick last year that stunned a lot of people. I know DJ had predicted he would take him, and he did. And you remember how the New York people lost their mind.
Oh, yeah.
And by the end of the year, they knew they had a quarterback. I think you've got to take care of that kid. I just don't think that you can continue on and keep trying to jerry-rig an offensive line and keep getting him hit, and he will have his pick, I think, if he stays there at 4, of any of those tackles. Now, I would listen to someone who wants to get up there if I knew I wasn't going to get out of range of getting a tackle that I like. And then you might be able to get a tackle and someone else. I'm not saying it's necessarily Simmons at that point, but you continue to build your team. But he's never gotten out of a pick. So that would be a new thing for him.
Well, I mean, it's very rare that you would have freaky athletic people at the quarterback, running back, and left tackle position, or even right tackle position, because Wirfs can do both. Do you think he goes Wirfs? Do you think he would go Wills? Or obviously Mekhi Becton? Do you want to talk freaky athletic? He nearly broke 5 seconds in the 40 at 19,000 pounds. So in front of our eyes at the combine, Charles.
Yeah, and if we had had an open roof and the sun was shining, he would have blotted that out. That's how big that man is.
Unbelievable.
But here's the thing: I've known Coach Gettleman since I was in high school. All right, and I'm not saying I know him absolutely, but he's told me since I was 16 years old, Charles is always going to be a big man's game. Mekhi Becton is the biggest of the tackles. Plus, he has the athleticism. Plus, he's played left tackle. It's not a conversion like Wirfs and Jedrick Wills. I'm not saying he wouldn't like Wirfs better. Wirfs was amazing at the combine, as we all saw. All right. I mean, Wills is an excellent player. Thomas is an excellent player. But I would go back to big. And big is Mekhi Becton.
He sure is.
We'll see.
The hog mollies, right? Isn't that the way that he refers to it? The hog mollies.
Loves them.
Is how he refers to linemen. All right. And so where do you stand on the Tua, Justin Herbert evaluation that appears to be real right now? Maybe in places like Miami, Los Angeles for the Chargers, or maybe somebody else that might throw their hat into the ring because they adore either one of these two quarterbacks. Where do you, Charles Davis, stand on that evaluation of those two guys? Because that could be so crucial as to how the top 6 picks play out on Thursday night.
I like Tua better than Herbert for this reason. I just think accuracy overall. And every time we talk to a quarterback coach, Rich, you've done it for years. Don't they always tell you they downplay the arm, strength a little bit? Now you have to have a minimum amount. You can't just be a total lollipopper. But if you got the minimum amount and accuracy is going to be a tiebreaker, they take accuracy almost every single time. And I think that's Tua. Not that Herbert is inaccurate. It's not like when Josh Allen came out, we were all having oh, God, can he hit targets? Can he do this? Can he do that? And some of that cropped up on him in that New England-Buffalo game late in the season. Remember Dawson Knox breaking in the end zone, and he airmailed it over him? But all in all, I just think Tua is that guy. Now, obviously, you got to go back to your doctors, et cetera, et cetera. But I think if there's one year you might get a little bit of leeway about not having all the info in front of you, I'd say this would be it for an NFL GM.
And Jordan Love is sitting out there, too. I mean, the whole conversation we're having, Burrow, and who's clearly separated himself from the rest. I'll ask you the question, Charles Davis. I have asked Daniel, Jeremiah, and I asked Mel Kiper yesterday. Trevor Lawrence is in this mix. Do you take him over all of them?
Ooh. Likely, yes. Yeah, I think I probably do. Burrow would be my wild card because I still think even though the year he had at LSU looks like a one for the ages, an all-timer, I still think there's a lot more in him. I think there's a lot more to ascend to. I don't think that he's done. But Trevor Lawrence he's gorgeous. And look, 2 years ago I got to watch him and Justin Herbert throw side by side one summer. Now that was fun.
Right.
I mean, balls just jumping out of their hands and receivers fighting each other to get in line when those two were stepping up to the line to throw the football.
Charles Davis here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay. X-Tech Equipment, what are you doing with them, Charles? What's going on with that?
I've known Bob Broderick and Ted Monica, the guys who started the company in New Jersey for a while now, and they've worked hard, Rich, to make this now the number one pad in the NFL. And you think about guys who, you got to protect yourself. You got to have your body armor. It's important to players. So for it to be the number one pad, not just shoulder pads, but your thigh, your knee, your hip, everything else. You're a Jets guy. When they got Sam Darnold back on the field, they called X-Tech last year when he had the mono and it had the enlarged spleen. What can we do to pad him up to give him extra protection? He was wearing that gear when he went back out in the field. Saquon Barkley wears it. OBJ wears it. Khalil Mack wears it. Matt Ryan wears it. Any high school that you can think of that's a big-time high school feels like they're all wearing it. Mater Dei, De La Salle, St. John Bosco, St. Thomas Aquinas, Michigan and Ohio State. Sorry, Rich, I put them in the same sentence for you.
I appreciate you put it in that order too, Charles. You're a good man.
Yes, there you go. They're both wearing that pad. I put my son in them when he was playing in high school, had a shoulder injury the year before, played his senior year, no issues. They're the best pad going. xtechpads.com, at xtechpads on Instagram. We're going to play football again, Rich. We don't know exactly when, but we are. So have your kids ready to hit the ground running. Boy or girl, put them in the right pads before they go out and play.
Of course, the choice of, as you pointed out, Pro Bowlers and the choice of quarterbacks who get high school kissing viruses and diseases and all that sort of stuff. And, oh, my gosh. Oh, Charles, I just forgotten about all that. So give me players that we're not talking about for the draft. Give me guys. Give me guys that you talked about at the combine, or you were going to talk about at the combine. We didn't have time to talk about that, or guys that have risen up boards. Give me guys. Give me names because I know you have them.
Okay. Well, look, I think we talked about him a little bit, but Antoine Winfield, the safety, I love. I think he's Tyrann Mathieu in terms of instincts. Size, stature, very similar as well. Akeem Davis-Gaither, we didn't get a chance to talk about him much. DJ's Appalachian State linebacker because he was a little dinged at the combine. Undersized, but can flat out run, and by the end of every play, he's wrapped around the ball carrier. Can he get a little bit bigger, and will people be able to play him in that inside spot like we've seen? Because guys aren't that huge anymore. Maybe he can still make that adjustment and play. Another kid from Appalachian State, Darrington Evans, the running back. I think he's an absolute dart. I love that kid. He's one of my favorite ones in this draft, and I can't wait to see what happens. And there's a running back from Memphis, Antonio Gibson, that has people are like, is he a receiver? Is he a running back? I think he's a running back all day long. Rich, he had like 14 touchdowns on 77 touches last year. Mm-hmm. He finds his way into the end zone. We don't talk about him much. Well-built kid, made the adjustment to pure runner at the Senior Bowl. I think that's where he continues to go. And he's one of my flat-out favorites that we just really haven't talked about much in this draft.
And in terms of quarterbacks, you're my Gruden whisperer because of your history with John, and nobody really knows, really. I mean, he just loves collecting them. He loves bringing them on, and he loves collecting them, and he loves developing them, and many people interpret that to mean he never likes his quarterbacks. Do you think he and Mayock, with the first rounders that they have, might go snag one on Thursday night?
I might have thought so, Rich, until Mariota ended up in town. And now I think that they will concentrate on continuing to make the rest of the team better, because Mariota is a guy who has been a starter in the league. And as you said, John likes to collect them and bring them back to health. He's a guy that he thinks that he can do that with. And for me, the number one thing for Marcus to get back to being the guy we saw come out in the draft is to go back to trusting his legs. I thought he got away from that in Tennessee. I don't know if it got in his head to stay in the pocket. I don't know if the broken leg did it, the broken ankle did it. So I don't know what it was. But that's just my own opinion about him. Trust his legs a little bit more. Go when that hole is there. And now he's breaking down defenses again. And so he'll be back there behind Derek Carr for now. You know, remember he collected Nathan Peterman last year, and everybody said, who are you getting? And he's still on the roster. But I don't think that he's the factor. I think that Mariota's the factor. Carr's there. this gives them a chance, and they've got to score points. Mike told us that, at the combine. He told us that throughout. They move the ball, but they've got to score points. They will have if they just stick where they are at 12, they have a choice of one of the top 3 receivers in the draft.
They sure do. They sure do. Judy, Lamb, or Ruggs can be sitting right there, or it's entirely possible Mayock and Gruden have a choice of all 3, right?
Yeah.
And then the question is,
exactly, because where does it start? Does Jacksonville surprise us with receiver? I don't think so at 9. I think the Jets at 11,
right,
potentially, and then we get to the Raiders at 12, and I think the Raiders are 12 and 20. So there you are. And if they thought there's a chance to drop back a little, gain an extra guy, there will still be other receivers available for them in the first round.
I got to tell you,
they've got some great choices ahead of them.
I got to tell you, I know Robbie Anderson, the Jets let him go, right? And you gotta hook Darnold up with somebody really special. That has to happen. He's that guy who you believe in, and the Jets fans believe in, and hope he is that transformational. You gotta hook him up with a huge playmaker, or you gotta protect him. And Daniel DJ calls this a Noah's Ark offseason for the Jets, that they need 2 of everything. So if you're Joe Douglas and you've got a choice between one of those 3 studs at receiver or somebody named Wills or Becton or Wirfs, who I don't think will be there at 11, what do you do? What do you do, Charles?
I'm going with the tackle, Rich, for this reason. I think there's deeper options at receiver in this draft. Not saying there aren't other options at tackle later, but you're starting to limit it. We're going to have that major run of those 4. We could very well see a rip of them, that just start out and they just keep going. We could go, they could very easily go 7 to Carolina, 8 to the Cardinals. You know what I mean? 10 to Cleveland, 11 to the Jets. So I would go get that guy because DJ, what has he told us? 27, 30 guys he's got with top 3 grades in the draft that are receivers.
Right.
I might have to fall back on that a little bit. Yeah, I want that special guy for Sam Darnold, but he can't throw it if he's always getting hit. He can't find that special guy.
Right.
I need to have him, and I know they signed George Fant, but that's not all. You mentioned DJ saying the Noah's Ark. Okay, who's the second one? I'd go get another one.
So, and then I guess before I let you go, Charles Davis, into your day, into your Friday, before the NFL draft week begins, what do you think Belichick's thinking at the quarterback spot with Brady in Tampa and Brian Hoyer in there? Because I guess they can't quit him. And then there's Stidham, who is either not ready for prime time or was the choice outside of the top quarterbacks in the first round last year of so many other teams, and he hopped on him, and he could be the Garoppolo of this equation. What do you think the Patriots are looking at the quarterback spot, either in this draft or when it's all said and done, what their room looks like?
Yeah, I don't think that they force anything on a quarterback. That's never been their style before. Garoppolo was a second-round guy. It's not like they just forced their way into it. I'm not saying they sit there and let it fall, but it would have to be a real easy deal for them to go make. And to me, if Jordan Love gets all the way down there, that could be a possibility. There's still free agency out there. I don't think it's Cam, but I wouldn't pass off on Jameis Winston. I really wouldn't, because if there's one organization that thinks they can fix people, wouldn't you think it'd be New England? And the kid, his issues have been much more on the field and what he's done with decision making than anything else. So that's where I would look at. That's how I would look at it with New England. But I don't think it's a huge quarterback draft class. I don't think in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round we're going to find guys. If you want them, you got to go get them early. And the second wave is Jacob Eason, Jake Fromm, that crew. I don't know. And the last thing I would say is, didn't Coach Belichick about a week and a half ago mention, we did okay with Matt Castle?
Sure.
I mean,
I know.
They went 11-5 and in a freaky year somehow missed the playoffs.
Well, Hurts is the guy out there. That's the second-round prize to me. That's the guy that you could go get.
I don't know if they'll get there, Rich.
What do you mean?
What I mean is Teddy Bridgewater was a trade back in to take him at the end of the first. Lamar Jackson was a trade back in to take him at the end of the first. But the way the contracts are structured, someone might do that with Jalen Hurts and come back in and swoop and get him. Or you move back and get him there. So late first, into the second. I'm with you on that part on Jalen Hurts, but he might be the wild card that people might say, let's trade back in late, help ourselves out with the contract, and go get that young man. Remember, he's a gym rat. He's a son of a coach, played for his dad in high school. He's been doing X's and O's since they put the pacifier in his mouth. Let's not forget that about him, too.
Charles, you're the man. Thanks again for coming on, talking draft, X-Tech, and so much more. Be well. Best to your family. Thanks, Charles.
Hey, the same to you, and hello to the Oneaters for me.
I will do that. That'll be Tom Everett Scott at the very end of this show. That's Charles Davis here on the Rich Eisen Show. And again, we've got, he's just the first of 6 guests. So let's go to our Geico fan line right now that is open and rolling. And let's go in right now to our friend Michael in Orange County, California. What's up, Michael?
Hey, Rich. First time, long time.
Appreciate it.
First and foremost, Splash. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. We just watched it with our 6-year-old. She loved it. Watched it like 3 times.
Okay. Did she found John Candy funny? There wasn't anything at a moment you thought, okay,
she just likes mermaids.
Okay. Okay. There you go. Very good.
But,
okay.
What I really want to call about as a long-time suffering Chargers fan, I've been listening to all this draft coverage over the past few weeks. I don't understand why everyone assumes that they have to pick a quarterback. The offense is stacked with, like, one exception. That's the offensive line. They have Tyrod. There's other quarterbacks out there to get. Why do we assume they need a quarterback?
Because they do. I mean, I don't mean to be that, cheeky about it, but they do. I think Tyrod Taylor's the word solid in the English language, it depends on how you use it. If you use it as opposed to a liquid, that means it's something specific. If you call something solid, he's a solid quarterback. That's like that backhanded compliment. I mean, we saw what he did with Buffalo. Maybe he didn't have the same weapons that obviously Eckler and Keenan Allen and Williams would provide, and that Bills team isn't as good. Yeah, I just don't know. And they went for Brady for a reason, and that might have been to put fannies in the seats of the stadium that's just up the road from us here at our studio. But Justin Herbert wouldn't be a bad pick, and if Tua's there, I mean, that's just the end of that. That's the end of that, because Tua fills the seats here, and Tua is he'd be perfect here in Southern California. And I know what you're talking about, the sensibility. And thanks for the call and for being first time, long time. But I mean, they need a quarterback in a long term way. I don't know if Taylor is the answer. He will get his opportunity to have a kid just be nailed to the bench. And it's interesting. Charles who just came on, has Herbert there because Tua goes before to Miami, and that's reversed in Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft. And he'll join us at the top of, in the middle of hour number 2 of the show, our first on NBCSN coming up. Let's go right now to our buddy Jeff in Detroit. How have you been, Jeffrey? You well? Everybody fine there in Detroit, I hope?
Everything is good other than the 35-degree weather we're having and snow on the ground.
Okay.
I mean, it's lovely up this way. Things are starting to look, a little bit better, my brother, and I appreciate you asking.
Of course. Thank you for calling.
It seems like me and you run neck and neck all the time.
I love it.
In these old school battles, man, listen, and I promise you, I get dogged out because that thing you do is like one of my favorites. I love Liv Tyler, and it's just the best. Now, I would have to go Forrest Gump number 1.
Okay.
I'll have to go probably Sully number 2. I was so immersed in that movie. When he played that captain, man, I was just transformed. Tom Hanks is like one of the best actors ever. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
number
indeed.
3 would probably be Bachelor Party. And it seems like that's my hangover. You know what I'm saying? It seems like it was the hangover before the hangover.
Thanks for the call, Jeff. I love it. And by the way, in terms of captains, he was also Captain Phillips. Did you see Captain Phillips?
Oh, Captain Phillips is amazing.
Riveting, man, that movie.
He doesn't have a 5. He's got at least a 10, if not a 15.
I know, but the point is to narrow it down. Like, make tough choices.
It's hard to do it with
tough choices.
I've tried.
Don just said Green Mile. Nobody's
another one. That's what I'm saying.
Walking a mile.
Insane.
Walking a mile.
Jason in Indiana, you're here on the Rich Eisen Show. What's up, Jason?
Nothing much. A long-time listener, first-time caller, and also a long-time watcher since your first TV show. So,
I'll take it. Thank
but real quickly, I wanted to thank you for being on TV and giving us a break from all the stuff that's going on. But as for Tom Hanks, I would have to go with Forrest Gump, Philadelphia, and then Joe versus the Volcano, and maybe the
Joe versus the Volcano.
Well, you got Mail or Money Pit.
Money Pit. Wow. I mean, Jason, I appreciate the call. Thank you. I don't know. I just Money Pit though.
When he's stuck in the floor in Money Pit.
I would go The Burbs though. If you're going the weird '80s movies from Tom Hanks.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't. Oh, my ears just went out again. You can't include them in. Tom Hanks.
Get it.
I mean, I understand that
they're not Academy Award winning.
But he's right. And like You Got Mail, he's actually there's movies that he's great in.
He's great in. They're just kind of like
Sleepless in Seattle. He's great. It's
they're just kind of hokey movies, whether they're weird comedies or romantic comedies.
I know. I understand. It's all subjective, but
there's let's be honest. There's no wrong answer.
There really isn't.
There is a right answer, and it's the one that I provided.
Oh, of course. Right.
Do you know what the name of the show is?
Of course.
Come on. What do you mean you can't?
I can't hear No Turner and Hooch yet.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
Thank you.
Yeah, we get it.
We got to remind everybody
No
who's
Turner and Hooch
who's
yet.
watching
Or you just
it right
got
now.
shown up by the host.
Oh boy, that's
Still
that's
nobody
an
has
old
said
one.
Toy Story.
Toy Story is a beautiful movie, man. All those Toy Stories are just, oh my God, they hit you right in. Have you watched? Have you watched a Toy Story yet? Now that you're a parent,
No, not yet. Not yet.
Oh man, when you see Toy Story before you're a parent, that's a sweet movie. That's a nice movie. When you watch Toy Story and all of them after being a parent, you need the Kleenex.
Waterworks.
Oh boy. Have you started crying at commercials yet?
No, I'll cry just holding him and looking at him. It's like very strange.
It's not strange. It's normal.
I mean, we're binging, Rich. No commercials.
Stephen in Portland, Oregon. Let's take Stephen in Portland, Oregon here on the Geico fan line here on the Rich Eisen Show. What's up, Stephen?
Yeah, hi, Rich. Thanks for taking my call. I'm a long-time listener. Love the show.
Thanks for calling. What's up?
Yeah, let me first weigh in on the Tom Hanks movies. I think Forrest Gump's got to take it. Just all-time classic. Can't beat it. It's my take on Tom Hanks.
Okay, what?
And I just wanted to talk about the Dak deal. So I think it's funny. I follow the stock market a little bit, and it seems like his value was rising the longer he waited, much like the stock market. But then at some point it goes off the cliff, and I think that point has come. And I think he's crazy not to take the deal that Dallas is offering right now.
I don't know, man. If I'm Dak, I'm just sitting back and I'm saying, pay me a lot of money. Because honestly, I know that Dallas missed the playoffs last year, but what are you going to start from scratch? Is Dallas going to go and get, somebody in the draft this year and start from scratch? No. I mean,
there's a lot of options, but
he's their guy. Thanks for the call, Stephen. I think Dak's sitting back and saying, "Pay me. You're going to pay me 30-some-odd million. What are you going to do? The Kirk Cousins thing?" Or you can be smart and get this whole thing salary capped out properly, right? I mean, look at the way even Minnesota's been doing it, right? Kirk Cousins has been paid like a baseball player. He's the Darrelle Revis of quarterbacks. He's just gaming the whole system to get a gajillion dollars with, two playoff wins in his career, right? Where was this his first playoff win this year, right?
Stand by.
His second career playoff game, but first career playoff win. The Geico fan line brought to you by, wait for it, Geico.
Nice.
If you own or rent your home and it is hard work, as we all know, here's how you can get things a little bit easier. By bundling policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. It's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your house, of course. So go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. It's Geico easy.
Geico.
Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com.
All right, Kirk Cousins 1-3 in the playoffs. 1-3, and he has made $100 million in 8 seasons.
There you go. Good for him. All right, enjoy the sports judge, everybody, here, because I'm dialing into Mike Tirico's show shortly on NBCSN. Go for it.
Today on The Sports Judge.
He was nonstop texting, Instagramming, live streaming.
Do you have anything to add?
Real fans, real cases. And Rich Eisen settles all scores as the sports judge.
This is the plaintiff, Brittany Simmons. She went on a date to a Dodgers game and says it turned into the worst night of her life. She wants to be compensated for the price of her ticket and the money she spent on concessions. This is the defendant, Alan Langhorne. He says he has absolutely no idea what Brittany is talking about. In fact, Alan says that he had the time of his life at the game and he has the evidence to prove it.
Here comes the judge. Litigants are ready for the next case, sir.
This appears to be a case of a date night gone bad. Ms. Simmons, you start first. What's your recollection of the night in question?
Your Honor, from the time I picked him up until the time I dropped him off, he was nonstop texting, Instagramming, live streaming. I don't think he took his eyes off his phone once.
Mr. Langhorne, I think I already know the answer to this question, but could that be possible?
No way. He said that? That's crazy.
Mr. Langhorne.
Yes?
Right here.
Oh!
Do you see what I mean?
Hi.
He probably doesn't even know who won the game.
Mr. Langhorne, do you know the final score of the game that night?
Of course I know the score of what the game was. Siri, what was the score between the Dodgers and the Angels?
The Angels narrowly defeated the Dodgers in the Freeway Series by a score of 5-3 on June 11th.
Ms. Simmons, that is the accurate final score. Do you have anything to add about this evening?
Sure. To top it off, a foul ball fell right at his feet, but he had his nose in the phone, so the guy next to him got it.
Mr. Langhorne, was the foul ball really that close to you?
Your Honor, do you mind if I live feed my answer?
Live feed?
Yeah.
The proceedings here in the sports judge chambers?
Yeah.
How many followers do you have?
100,000.
100,000?
100,000.
Ms. Simmons, how many followers do you have on Instagram?
50?
1,000?
Just 50?
It's 50. Bailiff, bring the phone to me. Are we live right now?
Oh, yes.
Wow, you do have following. Okay, here's my verdict. Despite your large following, sir, I'm still going to rule in favor of Ms. Simmons, but only for the cost of the ticket. As far as the concessions that you incurred on that night, I'm going to waive that as long as you tag the sports judge.
Wait, what? That's more than the cost of the ticket. The guy had 6 beers.
All I can say is in the 21st century, if you want to come to the sports judge with a following of 50, you're lucky to just get the ticket. I got to get out of this. It's hot.
All right, come on in here. Come on in here. The plaintiff, Miss Simmons. Miss Simmons, are you happy with the verdict?
Not really. The beers cost more than the ticket.
So there won't be a second date?
Absolutely not.
Okay, thank you. All right, move along. Good luck with love. The defendant, sir, come on in here, please. Yes, of course. Very important phone call. Are you happy with the verdict?
Oh, justice was definitely served.
Speaking of overserved, would you like to go on a second date?
What? Did she say something?
She did not. You're a horrible person. Get out of here. Get out of here. All right, that's it for the sports judge. Thanks for watching.
A referee blinded by love? Next time on The Sports Judge.
All right, we're on. I'm about to be on with Mike Tirico.
All right.
To promote our second and third hours of this show.
Fantastic.
You might even be hearing my connection to it right now. He's interviewing the tour PGA Tour commissioner right now, and it look, PGA Tour's announced plans to return to action in June.
Yeah, in June, I saw that.
Right. So I guess most of the players are socially distant from one another anyway,
golf,
right?
Yeah, you could.
No, I mean like literally, like they don't like each other. So
there's a lot of unsubstantiated reports.
Right. Yeah. Like Bryson DeChambeau, he could just play by himself, right?
Well, but he plays so slow.
He takes forever.
He basically plays by himself.
There'll be a vaccine by the time he hits.
By the time he hits his third shot on 12, he's.
All right, let's take one more phone call here from Pete in Richmond, Virginia. You're on the Rich Eisen Show. What's up, Pete?
What's happening, guys? How are y'all doing? Missed y'all. I don't know what happened on Sirius, but you guys were away for a while.
We're on now, though, right? You're hearing us now, right? You can confirm that you're hearing us. Excellent.
That's why I'm so excited. I had
Love
to
it.
call in and tell Brockman, no, you still can't be a Tampa Bay fan. Del Tufo, God, I missed that laugh. And Rich.
There it is.
Thanks,
Nice.
Pete.
Nobody has said the Castaway. Tom Hanks, the man carried an entire movie.
He did. I
There's
know.
nobody else in it besides the volleyball.
I know. He's so good.
Castaway.
I know. Thanks for the call. Appreciate that. He's so good, he almost got a volleyball nominated for an Academy Award. Right?
Wilson, man.
Wilson.
Fire! That's the best.
So,
He was so
Castaways.
good. Fire!
Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump. By the way, Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump.
That's the point,
Da
though.
Vinci Code.
Steve Tisch, the owner of the Giants, was a
yeah.
producer on Forrest Gump. So he's got when you go in his office, there's a Lombardi Trophy and an Oscar. I mean, now that's a flex. That's a flex.
Got to be one of the few, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If only.
I know.
Have both those.
You know.
It's been nice seeing Michael Jordan's background for all these interviews. Good Morning America.
Oh yeah.
He's got just every trophy imaginable behind.
By the way, for the interview with Roger Goodell, I did it from my home office.
You jazzed it up a little bit.
Well, here's what I did: is the photo. You'll see the photograph I normally have on the wall of me throwing out a first pitch at Dodger Stadium.
You replay
out.
I'm not going to have a baseball photograph
Is it you on
my
the set
wall.
of
You'll see.
Draft?
You'll see.
Goodell.
You'll see. It's the only thing that we rearranged.
Okay.
From my home office. We recorded it yesterday, and there's some good stuff to let you know about.
Good job.
So Von Miller, however, is going to be our first guest. We'll check in with one of the best football players in all the land and see how he's doing. He's now COVID-19 positive. Daniel Jeremiah, Roger Goodell, Jeffrey Wright, Tom Everett, Scott, and you when we come back.
is The Rich Eisen Show.
Mooch, you there?
Yeah.
We noticed it was the 20th anniversary of Tom Brady being drafted today.
Live from The Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
And we wanted to wish you a happy Giovanni Carmazzi Day, Steve.
I hate your guts.
Earlier on the show, NFL analyst Charles Davis. Still to come, Denver Broncos linebacker Von Miller. NFL Network analyst Daniel Jeremiah. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Plus, actor Jeffrey Wright. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome to this edition of The Rich Eisen Show, our simulcast on SiriusXM Channel 211, our YouTube stream, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show. We are now joined by our friends at NBCSN for the next 2 hours, and we are jam-packed. The phone number to dial is 844-204-RICH. We'll do our best to sneak those phone calls in because the first phone call we're going to get is about 2-3 minutes time from Von Miller, the Pro Bowl pass rusher extraordinaire of the Denver Broncos, who let the world know yesterday that he has COVID-19. He has tested positive for the virus that has all of us social distancing as best we possibly can, including all of us here on the Rich Eisen Show. There's less than 6 people here in our studio every day in Los Angeles, and as long as we are healthy and as well as we can be, we will be here for you every single day. Chris Brockman, my producer and compadre across the way from me, Mike Del Tufo, my audio executive as well. He is standing by at his post because we got a lot going on today. No, I got a lot of phone calls to get to, not just at 844-204-RICH, number to dial, but once Von Miller and I are done with our conversation, then Daniel Jeremiah, my NFL Network draft guru compadre, who will be part of NFL Network /ESPN's coverage next week. He will be joining us on this show. And then after Daniel Jeremiah, as you could see, our third hour, we are back to back to back. 2 actors, Jeffrey Wright and Tom Everett Scott of HBO's Westworld, and Tom Everett Scott, now of I'm Sorry on True TV, but back in the day in That Thing You Do. Both of these gentlemen are coming on because they're trying to raise money. Jeffrey Wright has a GoFundMe page that he has formed to help feed healthcare workers in the borough of Brooklyn in New York City, which, as we all know, has been hit very hard by COVID-19. And then Tom Everett Scott's coming on because the Wonders, the one-hit wonder band, The Wonders, from the Tom Hanks great film that he wrote and directed back in the day, That Thing You Do. The Wonders are getting back together again today on YouTube for a watch party of That Thing You Do. And all the funds that they will raise of that watch party will benefit Music Care's COVID-19 Relief Fund, because the songwriter and producer Adam Schlesinger, who wrote That Thing You Do and a lot of the music from that film, passed away last week. He lost his battle with COVID-19. So we will have those gentlemen on, and that will be after the commissioner of the National Football League, Roger Goodell, joins this show. Now, I chatted with the commissioner yesterday from my home office, which I did reconfigure to remove a photograph of me throwing out a first pitch at Dodger Stadium with a Dodger uniform on, and out of respect to the commissioner of the NFL, remove that off the wall and put
smart move
and put another item on the wall.
I think that was smart.
The black and white photograph that Jim Harbaugh signed of me walking out on the field at the University of Michigan.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, at Michigan Stadium. I mean,
I like that.
So.
I was there.
But at any rate, the commissioner at the top of our final hour here on the Rich Eisen Show, the conversation that we had yesterday, we'll play it for you because it's announcing a way for you to supplement your viewing of next week's draft. 1 week from today, we'll be coming on the air right here talking about the first 32 picks in an NFL draft that we all know would have gone down in Las Vegas, Nevada, if it wasn't for this pandemic. Everybody is going to be making the picks remotely from home. All the picks will be remote from home, joining the broadcast on ESPN and NFL Network that you will see. There's also now what we will announce later on in the final hour of this program, something called Draftathon Live. And it's a virtual fundraiser in support of COVID-19 relief efforts, 6 charities in particular. And it's going to be a lot. Name a way for you to follow the NFL either on social media or digitally. And it'll be broadcast on it. Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube there. Reddit will also have it. And it will be on NFL.com. All 32 teams will be pitching in. I will be 100% of the proceeds that are raised go directly to the charities involved. And we will have zooming in to our draft-a-thon room, celebrities, players, Hall of Famers, and I will be your host Thursday night, Friday night, and parts of Saturday. And Deion Sanders will be sitting with me for all Thursday night just to start things off at 7:30 Eastern Time.
Oh, yeah.
And the commissioner will be joining me at the top of our final hour to talk about that. And, of course, about the plans for the NFL, about the season, the schedule, what that might be. Will it be a partial schedule? When are they going to announce the schedule? So that's going to be on at the top of hour number 3. 844-204-RICH is the number to dial. But right now, I am pleased to have on this program and very appreciative to hear from him today, the day after that he let everybody know that he is tested positive for COVID-19. He's one of the greats in the NFL today. He is Denver Bronco lineman Von Miller. How are you feeling, Von Miller?
I'm feeling as good as I can feel. I don't have like any pain or anything hurting like that. I just got like a little cough, and I just been laying down and just chilling, just doing whatever they tell me to do.
Do you have any fever? Do you have a fever right now, Von? That's best you know of? Or?
No, I don't have a fever, but I have been in the steam room like twice a day, so I have like a little heat from that. But I wouldn't call it like a fever or nothing crazy. It's really just a cough that I gotta watch, and when it gets crazy, I just take a nebulizer breathing treatment. Well,
I know that you have asthma. Obviously, you've been battling that for your whole life. Is that have you been an asthmatic person for your whole life, Von?
Yes, sir, 100%. It's crazy because it's like, how can you have asthma and play football? we just been making it happen for 31 years.
Right. So when did this all start? Walk me through how you started feeling something that raised a flag with you, Von.
Okay, we were training in San Francisco. We were training in San Francisco about a month ago. San Francisco was the first city to have the shelter-in-place order. Whenever they locked down San Francisco, we flew back to Denver. We flew back to Denver about a month ago, and we had been here in Denver just training. I had my trainer come to the house. We were taking everything serious. I probably left the house 4 times in a month. I started to get like a cough probably 6 days ago, and my girlfriend, she was telling me that it didn't sound right, and I should take a breathing treatment. I took a breathing treatment, what I normally do before like football games and before football games. That's the only time where I take a breathing treatment. I started taking a breathing treatment, and it wasn't working how it normally would. And after that, another day passed, and my assistant, she was like, "Why don't you just go get tested?" I was like, it's right down the street. I'm here in Denver. I went up to the team position. We took the test. The next day, I started to feel a little bit better. I was laying down in the morning yesterday, and my team physician called me. And when he called me, he said, "Hey, how are you feeling?" I was like, "Oh, that's not the opening, question that you asked."
Right.
But he asked me how was I feeling. He asked me what I was feeling. I told him I was feeling okay. And he told me that he got the results back, and it's positive for COVID-19.
So you got tested through the Denver Broncos, is what you're saying, through your.
I got tested through Denver Broncos. Yeah, the team physician.
Okay. And what is your team physician telling you about what you need to be mindful of here?
It's all. All of this stuff is new. It's only, been a day for me. I have this little oxygen pack that I keep on to test like my oxygen levels, and as long as it stays over 90, as long as it stays over 90%, I have everything on paper. As long as it stays over a certain number, then I'm good. And that means I'm getting enough oxygen and I'm breathing right. If it drops lower than that, then I need to, start making some phone calls to get my oxygen back up. So that's all I'm watching right now is just, paying attention to this cough. I'm just chilling. I'm drinking, hot fluids, teas, and stuff like that, and I'm just sitting and chilling, watching movies.
Von Miller.
Doing the same stuff that I was doing. I'm pretty much doing the same stuff that I was doing before. It's just now that I have now that I know I have COVID-19.
Yeah, now that's where I wanted to ask you next, Von Miller, here on the Rich Eisen Show, because I'm sure that many people that might be out there listening or watching right now be like, well, how careful was Von? How careful were you, Von?
So I was careful. I didn't have like my house like completely locked down. I still had fish tank workers. They would come once a week. You would have plumbing. You would have plumbing coming in, and we had the traffic at my house very, very limited. Nobody was coming in and out. Like I said before, I was taking it serious. I was, keeping the number of people down that come inside the house. The same number of people that we had. We have about 4 people, here at the house. We've all been, taking the precautions and doing everything that everybody's been telling us, and it still got us. So that's just been my message to like my buddies and stuff, man. We're taking this stuff extremely serious, and I'm still, able to, to get this. And I'm in a fortunate situation. I'm 6 minutes down the street from the Broncos facility. I can pick up the phone and call, anybody. I got people that's doing grocery runs for me, and I'm in a great situation and doing this. A lot of people that's not like that. Doctor, he had one test for me. It wasn't like it's not a lot of tests going. It's not a lot of tests going around. It's crazy out here, and I feel like people should really take this stuff serious. I feel like I'm Superman. I do everything to keep my body in tip-top shape. That's my job to do that, and I still was able to to contract this virus. So it's very, very serious, and I just want people to take it serious because it's a very serious issue.
Yeah, and Von Miller here on the Rich Eisen Show. You're a 31-year-old. You're a kid, Von. I know you're a grown-ass man on the football field, but you're 31 years old and feeling some effects here. And hopefully the way that you're feeling now is just the worst you're going to get. But, I've known some people where things can take a turn or they can get definitely more uncomfortable. And so I'm wondering, is that why you're being so vocal about it? Like, hey, let me start telling people about this rather than not, because you do clearly have a platform and a lot of people know who you are, Von.
100%. That's exactly it, Rich. And before I was trying to stay out the way and just stay here at home. I didn't do like any COVID-19 videos. I was just doing whatever I need to do to just stay low and stay out the way. And this this virus came and hit me, and I just feel like it's my place to let everybody. It's a very, very serious virus, and everybody should take this extremely serious. There's a lot of people, like I said before, it's a lot of people that's not, in the same situation as me that'll be able to, react the way we have. So I just want everybody to take this super serious and be mindful of it.
So what's the diagnosis you're getting about how far you might be in, and how, if you've contact traced anything? I know, again, you just found out yesterday. But I'm wondering what you've been told about when you might have gotten this and how much longer you may have here before you're feeling asymptomatic completely.
We can only truly go off of the positive test. So I took the test 3 days ago. Whenever I took the test, I had been feeling sick for about 3 days. But I can't really, you can't really count those days because you don't really know exactly what's going on. I know for a fact whenever I got tested, that was the day I can start quarantine. So 3 days ago, that's where I start my 14-day quarantine.
And are you by yourself completely now, Von? Or I mean?
No, I'm not. I'm not by myself, and that's I feel like that's another that's another situation that was just fortunate for me. I had my security, he was here with me, and whenever they quarantined my house, they all just assumed like we all had COVID-19. So we're all just here. It's 5 of us. We're all here at my house, and we're all going through this together.
So last one for you, Von. I mean, you hear so much talk about when's the country going to open up, and how sports is being mentioned frequently as the indicator as to when we can go back to normal. Now that you have COVID-19, Do you have any thoughts on what you think the proper circumstances need to be for you to feel comfortable going out there and being a member of the Denver Broncos with your teammates and opening things up? Like what has to be done first in your mind?
Man, I feel like whatever's safe, and this is it's a crazy situation that the whole world is in. We really don't know. It's not a lot of it's not a lot of information for us to say, okay, it's safe to go back tomorrow, or it was safe to go back last week. I feel like whatever it is that's safe, that's what we should do. I feel like we should take our time and really just figure all this out. If I can get it, I feel like my health is my number one priority. If this happened to somebody that would compromise immune system, it'd be totally different. So whatever steps that we take, I just want it to be the safe ones. If we playing football, if we playing football in empty stadiums, or if we got to quarantine away from our families before we meet up and go to training camp, or whatever it is that we got to do, I just want it to be safe so we can get through this and we'll be done with it.
Vaughn, I hope you're done with this fast. And I think what you're doing to share it and get the word out to people is crucial. So I give you the last word here before I send you on into your Friday and hopefully a restful day and a healthy day for you. I give you the floor one last time, Vaughn.
Hey, Rich, I appreciate you. I'll just say one last time to take it extremely serious. I like to think that I'm Superman. Whenever the season you get a cold or you get the flu, you fight through it and you go to practice and you push through it. This is totally different. I got so many other people to think about besides myself. I got my mom, my dad, my little brother, infant children that I'm around, and it's truly bigger than myself. And whenever I got the diagnosis, I kind of took a step back to just think about, like, man, this hit me. I was nervous and scared and all other things that people experience, and just typical Vaughn fashion. I took a step back and I just thought about, like, how could I be, what position can I put this information in where it could be the most impactful. And I just like, hey man, I just gotta tell people that I got it. I feel like when people realize that I got it, especially all my boys and all my teammates that know me personally and they know how I live and they know how I am and they find that I have it, and that it really step up some of the seriousness around this virus. So I ask everybody to stay safe, man. Stay out the way. Take it serious. It's for real.
Vaughn, take care of yourself. We're going to check back in every now and then here, and know this. I know you mentioned all the people that you're thinking of and that you're there for. There's millions of fans too, millions of your fans that are looking to you, and the fact that you want to set an example to basically say, take this seriously, stay home, stay safe as best as you can, and if it can happen to you, it can happen to anybody. I think that is remarkable, and I thank you for being on this show to help spread that word.
So appreciate you, Rich. Thank you, guys.
Always. That's Von Miller, 8-time Pro Bowler, Denver Bronco, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Testing, need it, got to have it. He's lucky to have it. I know so many people who are thinking, do I have it? Did I get it? Don't know where to get tested. Can't get tested. We know people that are waiting to get tested right now. We know people who are sick waiting to get tested. If we better know who's had it and who has it, maybe we can all get back. But in the meantime, let's all think of the folks who have it, and Von Miller in particular, and the healthcare workers, again, who are on the front lines. Jeffrey Wright of Westworld has a GoFundMe page to help feed some of the healthcare workers, certainly in the city of New York City and the borough of Brooklyn. And the draft-a-thon is all about raising money to fight COVID-19 and or help people who need food on the table and need help with their health care. And we'll talk to the commissioner of the NFL about that. That's all in hour number 3. But when we come back, the NFL draft itself, Daniel Jeremiah, my compadre from NFL Network, will be part of the NFL Network ESPN coverage. He'll be part of the NBCSN coverage in a moment. hello, YouTube viewers and Sirius XM Channel 211
We
listeners.
are in.
I love it.
Boom.
Now, I saw you get up at one point earlier. Now, did you need to fine-tune something?
I need to make sure everything was good,
Okay.
Rich. Come on.
Because you're a lead pipe wielding professional.
I'm trying
Michael
to be.
Del Tufo. There's
It was a little
now
rough this morning. I felt.
What do you mean?
I was like, because it's whenever you start something new again, it's like you got to be like, I'm on it.
All right. Can you pop DJ up for a second? Is he on the phone line?
Yeah,
right there?
hang on a second.
Pop him up. Daniel, you there? You there?
What's up, Rich? How you
Okay,
doing, man?
I'm going to place you back on hold in a minute, and we'll join NBCSN audience, the rest of the audience, when we return in a second. And I appreciate it, and we'll get you out on time. I know you're constantly doing stuff these days. You're as busy as.
Oh, dude, Rich, it's crazy, man. But it's good busy, right?
Well, I mean, look, we're knocking on wood that we have the draft going down next week to talk about, and I just wanted to let you know I know we got you a little late. We had Vaughn on, and we're gonna get you out on time anyway. So we'll chat with you in a second. Okay.
Thanks, brother.
All right. That's Daniel Jeremiah. We're just letting the YouTube and Sirius audience hear a little bit of how the sausage gets made. Yeah, put up the mock draft for a second so we can go ahead and familiarize ourselves. YouTube.com/Rich Eisen Show streaming audience, Sirius XM Channel 211 Dan Patrick radio audience. He's got Joe Burrow, Chase Young, Jeff Okudah, Tristan Wirfs, the choice of Dave Gettleman up in his very lonely attic situation that we see him photographs of. Justin Herbert, then to a Derek Brown to the Panthers. I think that along with Burrow, Young, and Okudah is everybody believes that is the choice of the Panthers. Jedrick Wills, because Wirfs will be gone to Arizona. Mekhi Becton, which leaves Isaiah Simmons for the Browns. That's how Simmons drops to 10 right there. That's a very feasible scenario, how Simmons drops to 10.
Unless Gettleman trades down. Someone comes up and gets him.
I doubt it. CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy to the Raiders, Henry Ruggs to the Niners. Look out.
Gettleman said he's going to entertain trading down.
By the way,
could be smoke.
If for the Niners, and we've got John Lynch on next Tuesday, the Niners trade away Buckner because if they feel that they've got a ton of people because they paid. Why am I blanking on the guy who they paid? I'm sure DJ's on the phone line right now. They paid Eric Armstead, right? They pay him. Right. They send out Buckner and get Ruggs for their offense. And their defensive line obviously takes a little bit of a drop, but they can go ahead and get Ross Blaylock later in the first round. I mean, that's what you call chef's kiss if John Lynch can pull that off. All right, DJ coming back in a second. Back on this busy Friday edition of the Rich Eisen Show. We just had Von Miller on the phone, and he did sound a little off, Chris, correct? He did not sound himself.
He did not, and he's working through it.
We're
knock on wood.
Exactly.
We're praying for him, but he did not sound good.
The commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell, will be joining us at the top of our final hour here to talk about the Draftathon Live to raise as much money for 6 charities fighting COVID-19 and helping those who are fighting it either on the front lines or in their lungs. The actor Jeffrey Wright from Westworld, Tom Everett Scott from That Thing You Do in hour number 3. But we turn to our phone line right now and our friend from NFL Network, the NFL Media Group, who will be part of the ESPN NFL Network coverage of the draft this year, my buddy Daniel Jeremiah, at Move the Sticks on Twitter. For those who don't follow him, you need to. How are you, DJ?
I'm doing great, Rich. I've just got to get used to the fact that, every time I go in my office now, I assume that I'm on camera. So it's just like it's throwing me for a loop, man. Like I just want to get something off the printer here, but I feel like I got to be careful.
It's like the Truman Show. I mean, you're always on television.
It really is.
You're always on TV, and that eye in the sky does not lie, DJ. So as you know, if they check the tape, we could see some red flags, and you just got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be very, very careful.
No doubt.
Joe Burrow's won, correct? That's not any doubt, right? That's a fact. We can just rip the knob off.
I feel like that. I feel like that is a certainty there that he's going to be the first pick, and the Bengals will they'll get their guy. So then the draft begins, I think, at 3, if we assume that Chase Young goes at 2, and then the fun begins.
Right. And then 3rd overall are the Lions. Now, I know mock drafts do not include trades. How likely, what are you hearing right now about maybe an itchy trigger finger by the Dolphins or the Chargers knocking on the Lions' door and saying we need to hop up to 3 to make sure we get the quarterback we want? What are you hearing on that front right now?
Nothing. I have not heard anything. I know the Lions, Bob Quinn has said that he's received phone calls, which every team's going to make those calls this time. But in terms of the likelihood or that we're going to see this happen, I don't know. I think Tua with the Dolphins situation makes it interesting because we've heard so much about Herbert, being the guy there with the Dolphins, and whether people think that's a smokescreen or not, I tend to think it's actually pretty legitimate. So if you're the Chargers, and say you're a Tua team, right? You really want Tua to just energize this city and this fan base, and you've got a really talented team, and he can be the face to replace Phillip Rivers. Do you trust your gut and say, man, I think they're going to go Herbert, so let's not trade any assets. Let's sit here and wait, and we're going to get Tua without having to give up any picks. Or like you said, I think you used the term right, is they get an itchy trigger finger and maybe they want to go up. That's the storyline to follow in the draft. That's the number one story, in my opinion.
So when the Lions are on the clock, that 10-minute period, that's when we start sitting up a little bit more upright in our chairs, keeping an ear to the ground. And then if the Lions don't move, it is Okudah. That's the choice of Honolulu Blue. They go to the Ohio State and get that corner.
That, to me, is the one that makes the most sense. I just think he's a great fit there. That's the, Patricia way, if you go off the Belichick playbook, which is where he came from, and they build their defense back to front instead of front to back. So you lose Darius Slay, you slide him in there. I know some people have said, well, why would you do that? It's just kind of an even swap if you could have kept Slay and gone in a different direction. But this is a younger, cheaper version. So that still, to me, looks like the pick.
And then 4th overall, Dave Gettleman, sitting in his attic in front of his one single laptop. I don't know if you saw that photograph.
Is that wainscoting, by the way? What do we call that again on the wall? Very nice.
It is. I think so. Again, I'm not. That's more Susie, my wife's area of expertise.
Okay.
I have heard her use the word sconce a lot in our marriage.
HGTV. Daniel's been watching it.
Sconce. It is. By the way, if the Giants draft a kid named Wayne Scotting, then we'll know. That'd be odd. But Gettleman's
very true. By the way, quick, Rick. I know we want to talk about this, Rich, but I have to just sidebar real quick.
Yes.
Brockman just mentioned HGTV. How bad do you feel? I feel so bad for all those people that went with the tiny houses. I don't know if that's such a good call right now.
Probably not.
I'll say the same thing to you, Daniel, that I've told Mayock for many, many a moon. Not everything's an evaluation. Not everything needs to be evaluated. But that is you're in that mode right now. You only know one speed right now. Everything's an evaluation. You even noticed the wainscoting. I mean, we have looked at that
really
Gettleman photograph nonstop, and I didn't even notice it.
Mentioned it. Yeah,
I didn't even notice it. Look, it goes around the corner. All right. So his decision at 4 is huge, right? With Simmons or the offensive lineman of his choice, or even trading out potentially. What do you think Gettleman does when it's all said and done, 4th overall?
Well, I just think he's a meat and potatoes guy, and it's a meat and potatoes decision. So you get the offensive lineman to help Daniel Jones and help Saquon Barkley. Their defense is terrible, Rich. They have to use resources to get that fixed, but I don't think that's number one on the priority. I think next year, if the Giants are 8-8 and Daniel Jones is taking a step forward and you've kept him healthy, you feel like you're on your way, to being a good football team, and you can fix some of those defensive issues. If they go 8-8 and the defense plays great and keeps them in every game, and Daniel Jones regresses, I don't think you feel good about where that franchise is. So I'm going to fix that offensive line.
So why do you think he goes worse of all his choices at that spot?
Well, we still have another mock to go here, Rich. We've got a finale here, so
I think I'm doing that with you. I think they're putting a camera in my house today, so I can do that with you on Wednesday night on NFL Network.
Oh,
Daniel,
that's breaking news. That's breaking news right there. Sweet. Yeah, no, we'll have a little surprise there. I think it'll be an offensive tackle. I'm beginning to think it's not going to be Wirfs, but I do think they'll go offensive tackle there.
Oh, then why are you mock drafting Wirfs? Is it you giving a head fake just to keep it fresh next week?
This is old mock draft. This is old mock draft. We got a new one coming your way.
Pardon me.
That's like a week is like a year in mock draft.
What point oh? I don't even know what point oh we're on right now. So.
I know. Do I need to do the .0s, by the way?
Well, yeah, I don't know who started that.
It's like 1.1.
It's
right?
the same.
1.2.
It's the same. I don't know who came up with the .0 for mock drafts. I don't know what the lineage of this thing is, but whoever it is, it's the same person that mandates every single television partner of the National Football League to right around Week 11, Week 12, name all the teams outside of the playoff picture in the hunt. I don't know who that. It's always got to be in the hunt, as you know, here on
coming from the same shop.
Well, I guess we should bring this up right here because we have a new audience on NBCSN. Here on the Rich Eisen Show, we call it sniffing it. It might not be nearly as appropriate for a television audience for partners, but at any rate, your whatever .0, you've got Herbert in front of Tua right now. Why do you have that?
Yeah.
Is that your evaluation, or what you think the Dolphins' evaluation is right now, Daniel?
Yeah, my evaluation is you take Tua, and I know I'm not a doctor, but look, that to me would be my decision. But when I hear that there's a split in the room, and I've heard that from multiple people, that if there's not a unanimous opinion on those guys, I would think it would lend towards the healthier player getting the nod. So that's kind of a combination of what I've heard and then just common sense of this one guy's healthy and one guy is coming off of a tough injury. So that's why I had them going with Herbert. But I've also heard, as of the last few days, talking around to the folks around the league, Rich, who believe they might not even take a quarterback.
Come on.
Shocked me.
Come on.
That's what I said. I said that doesn't make any sense. You traded a bunch of great players so you could go out and replace them with other, great players. No, you did all this so you could get the quarterback.
Right.
Like that. To come out of this whole rebuild without the quarterback just wouldn't make any sense to me.
Unless the quarterback that they have coveted all this time suffered a hip injury that's got him scared. I mean, that would be the only reason why one would think that you're hearing this stuff. Unless, and you've been in draft rooms in your lifetime, in your career, how do you sense what's BS and what isn't right now? I mean, that there's a split in the room. That might be being told to enough people that it gets into your ear gate, to use the Michael Irvin phrase. Yeah. So everybody thinks that they're not taking Tua 5th overall, and they don't have to trade up to go get the guy that they still do covet. Daniel.
It's very real. It's very real. And in that vein, Rich, this year, I tweeted about this last night, this is going to be the wildest draft in terms of what your expectations will be and what actually happens. Because I'll let people in on a little bit of a secret here. When you go to these pro days, all the coaches and all the scouts are there. And while the guy at the top of the decision-making chain is usually aware of keeping things a little bit close to the vest, there are conversations inside that building, and there are people that know. And a lot of times those are coaches or scouts. And when they get around their buddies, that's how the information gets out. That's how you find out that team X likes player Y. It's not coming straight from that building. It's because a friend of a coach there talked to him at a pro day, and he didn't keep it to himself. So all this information comes out of these pro day conversations that take place, and we didn't have that this year. So I'm still having conversations with these general managers, but these staffs haven't been interacting with one another. So I'll have a phone. I'm having these calls every night, Rich, where we'll talk about a player, and he'll go, "I'm really targeting this guy. I think this kid could be a great fit for us in the 3rd round." And then talk to another team 10 minutes later and say, "What do you think of this guy?" Like, "Oh, he's a free agent for us. Like, he stinks." There's like these wide swings on these players. There's no groupthink this year. Every man for himself, which makes it a lot of fun.
That is remarkable. I have not heard that yet, and that is a fascinating development to hear. So you think, again, and I understand there's another mock draft to come, Herbert over Tua, and that would be champagne popping for the Chargers, right? I mean, you call Chargers games here in Los Angeles on the radio, along with our buddy Matt Money Smith. That would be Telesco. Like, if he could write it up right now, that's the way he would write it up, would you say?
Well, to me, assuming that he's healthy, I think he's just such a perfect fit on the field, in the locker room, in the city. Like, everything points to a very good fit there with Tua. But I'm not privy to the medical information that they have. So that would determine that decision. But, man, looking at it on paper, Rich, it looks to me like it would be a home run pick.
How are these teams truly flying blind on Tua and his hip, Daniel? Though I mean, like he got the check at the combine, and then there was that medical recheck that checked out apparently, according to all reports. You're watching him run around spry like a deer with all the video that from his own personal pro day that got sent to a lot of people in our industry. I mean, how are people truly flying blind on Tua's health right now, DJ?
Well, I think there's two questions with Tua's health, and I've heard different opinions on this from different medical people, and some teams are more comfortable with it than others. And these are teams that are not in the quarterback markets. There's no reason for them to lie to me. I know they're not taking one. I'm just looking for their opinions.
I like it.
But the situation is this: there's getting to a 100% healthy. Which, if you watch that video, I mean, I thought it was incredible for where he is in the process. He looked like he was, 85, 90%. I mean, he looked great. But there's a difference between getting to 100% and staying at 100%. And that's where the issue lies for some teams. It's not, is he going to be healthy when he walks into our building for the first time? It's what's the likelihood of recurrence with this injury, and what kind of stability are we going to have going forward in the long term? That's the question.
So you're in a draft room, though. You take Tua, right? You do it.
I would, yeah. I mean, he's my look. I still have Burrow as my top quarterback,
right? But
he's in Cincinnati. He's gone. I would take Tua.
Okay, and Simmons drops to 10 in your mock draft. I mean, now obviously the Browns would be ecstatic to get somebody as talented as Isaiah Simmons, but don't they got to get somebody up front, right? I mean, so what do you think of the Brown scenario involving Simmons and I guess everything that we've just discussed all the way down to 10 there, DJ?
Yeah, I think, look, the Simmons thing would be interesting because if you look, I had Jacksonville taking Becton, and there's a couple different thoughts on that. I would say it's probably down the line chance that the Jags would actually take Becton at that point in time, but that's a trade spot. When you look at Cleveland at 10 as a tackle team, the Jets at 11 are a tackle team. So if you wanted to tackle, if you're a team like Tampa who want to go up there and get a tackle, that's the spot you want to get to is Jacksonville. And I've been told by multiple teams that Jacksonville is more than willing to get out and actually could be looking to get out. So that could be a trade spot there. And if that happens, now you have that run on tackles, and then Simmons being there, I think would just be too good of a player there for Cleveland to pass up. When you're in that division with Lamar Jackson and you have a player like Isaiah Simmons, I mean, I saw it with Derwin James against the Baltimore Ravens, in the playoffs a couple years ago. That is kind of an eraser for a unique player like Lamar. He really gives you a lot of advantages there on the defensive side of the ball with all he can do. So that's a pick for the division there if they were to somehow get Isaiah Simmons. Now, I think Simmons is the third best player in the draft, but he's an off-the-ball linebacker who can do a lot of different things, but those guys you've seen in years past where highly rated off-the-ball linebackers can drop a little bit. So that would not totally shock me if Isaiah Simmons did not go quite as high as he should based on his ability.
And then last one for you, Daniel. We had our buddy Charles Davis on in our first hour, our youtube.com/Rich Eisen show streamed hour, and he said that the signing of Mariota in Las Vegas makes him think that Mayock, our buddy, and Gruden are not going to go quarterback in the first round. Where do you think Jordan Love winds up?
Well, first of all, before I get to that, has Charles got the blazer yet? Because I told him as soon as that CBS blazer shows up, he needs to snap a picture and send it to me.
I think it's at the tailor right now. I think it's still being sewn together with T's being crossed and I's being dotted. And by tailor, I mean his entertainment lawyer. That's what I mean. If that makes sense. That's fantastic.
That's fantastic. All right, look, Jordan Love, he's tough to nail down. He's the one I'm just having a hard time. I don't think the Raiders will take him. Maybe I'll be surprised, but I don't think they will. And then, to me, it could work out really well for Jordan Love because if I was him, there'd be three teams that I would want to go to. Everybody grows up, you want to be the number one pick. Forget that. This is a long game here. You want to go to a place where they can develop you and you have a chance to be successful. And Jordan Love, those three teams would be New Orleans at the bottom of the first round. It would also be Indianapolis potentially coming back up to pick him in the bottom of the first round. That would be an option for him as well. And I don't think New England would do it. but he would have an opportunity to sit there as well. I don't think that they will take him, but the two that make the most sense are the Saints and the Colts.
And you have, however, in your current mock, a team that watched
the Packers.
You have a team that watched a talented quarterback drop, and they've been riding him, and he'll be riding all the way to the Hall of Fame since then. You have the Packers taking Jordan Love, 30th overall right now.
That would be the third team. That would be the third team. So you've got, again, great situations with offensive-minded coaches, and then you've got a chance to sit and learn and develop, which he needs. So, the Packers tried that with Deshaun Kaiser. It didn't work out. Maybe they go back to that well again here with a new group running the show, and Jordan Love's got a tremendous amount of talent. So it'd be fun.
DJ, fun chatting with you. Look forward to chatting with you more next week. Thanks, Daniel.
All right, buddy. Be safe.
You got it. That you too. Daniel Jeremiah at Move the Sticks. Must follow. Love that guy. Love that guy. When we come back, your phone calls. And also, you know how sometimes when I show up, from my past with hair, I see tweets and stuff like that.
Of course.
And I'm bracing myself for how The Last Dance that premieres on ESPN this coming week.
Oh, yeah.
There'll be some maybe ESPN moment flashbacks where I'll have hair all over myself.
Absolutely.
All over my head, right? It's already happened on Twitter today.
Uh-oh.
But you have to look closely. Wait till you see this. You're going to love this. And your phone calls on our Geico phone line. If you own or rent your home, it's hard work. We all know that. Here's what's easy. Bundling policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. It's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your home. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com. Your phone calls at 844-204-RICH when we come back. And then our third hour, jam-packed with the commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell, kicking that off. We're on our youtube.com/Rich Eisen show stream, as also Sirius XM channel 211, Dan Patrick Radio. Thrilled to be on with everybody.
Yeah.
844-204-RICH is the number to dial on that. Let me let's sneak in our buddy David in Houston. How you been, David?
Fine. TJ has named me the chairman of the 454s due to my advanced age.
I like it. I like it. That's fine. So I guess you're the Sinatra of everything.
Old.
You're the Francis
With
Albert.
With son, I'm going to have to go with Forrest Gump.
Okay.
But I want to mention Alex Bregman, your Jewish all-star third baseman here in Houston, who's raising money for a food bank. He wants to raise $1 million.
Good for him.
I think you should have Alex on the show.
Yeah, I would love to. I just don't know if he wants to talk about some of the things that people want to know.
He's a tough kid. He can take it.
I love him. He's one of our favorite guests. He's signed our famous Jews in Sports book that we have here, correct? Our greatest Jews in Sports? I think it's.
And
do we
one
know
of the
where it is?
bats.
Oh, it's right behind Del Tufo, fittingly.
Go
ahead, figure.
I don't know who's touched it.
What do you mean, who's touched it?
Oh, and the bat. He has.
I don't think anybody's touched it.
Gloves are going on.
All right.
Well, Rich, I think he'd be a good guest. And,
I think so too, David.
Thanks for the great
Thanks
job
for calling
on the show. TJ is catching up to you with his putting. You better practice your smooth putting stroke and your buttery backhand.
I would like it, David. Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. That's David in Houston here.
Yeah, Bregman signed the bat, too.
Bregman signed the bat, but I think he signed the book. So did Jeff Schwartz.
Nick Swartzen bat.
Offensive lineman Jeff Schwartz, the front page, right?
The front. I'm looking. There's nothing up in the front.
Nick Offerman bat.
Yeah, I can't tell who that is.
That's it. That's Jeff Schwartz and that's Alex Bregman. Those are the two autographs.
I'm not
I think the only two Jewish athletes we've had on the Rich Eisen show in studio.
Not a Jew.
Oh, Josh Rosen never came here though, Don. Did he? Oh no, he did. He did. It's right.
He
signed a book.
He signed the.
Well, how do we not have him sign that book?
I think that was before we started having the book signed.
The book was a second.
The
book.
We got to get the Rosen one back in here to do that. We'll come back in a second right here on the Rich Eisen show. Don't go anywhere. 844-204-RICH is the number to dial here on the Rich Eisen Show, which you can catch every single day starting at noon Eastern Time on our YouTube feed, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show. And you can listen to us on Sirius XM Channel 211 and get our podcast on Podcast One and podcast1.com. And, of course, our friends at NBC SN 1 to 3 Eastern every single weekday. The commissioner of the National Football League will be up in hour number 3 to kick us all off right there. Let's go to the phone lines right now. Dennis in Louisville, Kentucky. What's up, Dennis? What's on your mind today?
Yeah, I want to say, I don't think anything's going to be the norm anymore because until we get a vaccine to straighten this out, everything's going to be different. It's going to stay different. It's not going to change. It's going to stay like this because, there's until we get a vaccine, there's nothing we can do. Sports are going to be different. Everything is going to be different. People are going to be telecast with Zoom. People are going to be doing everything from their homes. It's not going to be any different. Restaurants are going to be different. There's no stadiums are going to be full. None of that stuff is going to happen. It's going to stay like this. This is going to be the norm until we get a vaccine. There's nothing he can do. The president comes out every day and he says these happy talks. He acts like he's Mr. Rogers. He's sitting down. He's putting on his slippers and putting on his red sweater and trying to make happy talks. That's not going to do it. The virus is going to be here and it's going to hang around, and it's not going anywhere until we get a vaccine.
Dennis, I appreciate
it's going to stay like this.
Dennis, I appreciate the call. Thank you. And you could hear the exasperation in Dennis's voice. I know you've said, Chris, you're not going back to any stadiums until there's a vaccine. And
why risk it?
That's why I say, again, you heard Von Miller say, take it seriously, stay home, and let's get the testing ramped up. Let's find out a little bit better who's had it and who has it. And then we could maybe work our way towards getting sports back, and then getting fans back in will be a choice. But let's get down that road first. In the meantime, we've got the draft coming up this coming Thursday for a sense of normalcy for at least 3 days in the sports world. It's an actual sporting event that we're going to have. It's going to happen. And then right before that, the number of people that have been talking about the Jordan documentary that's going to be on ESPN on Sunday night at 9 Eastern Time, 10-part documentary, The Last Dance.
Baby. Let's go.
And anytime that there's old school Sports Center stuff from like 20 some odd years ago, there is a shot, there is a chance that there might be a Sports Center moment from my history that's brought out. And then I'll get all sorts of tweets. Hey, you had hair, you had this, you had that. And I'm like, yes, I had hair. But I also, there's also something called a fine wine. But at any rate, so The Last Dance is coming out. And this Last Dance was not from this photograph right here. As you know, The Last Dance is about, in particular, the final Jordan team in Chicago, right?
Yeah, that 97,
which is what I
season.
talked about on SportsCenter. But that photograph that we'll return to in a second, right there, is from Jordan's final press conference as a Bull the first time, when he retired the first time and shocked everybody he's going to go play baseball.
Yeah, that's October 93.
I covered that for Northwestern Medill School of Journalism. That's the first Jordan story I ever covered. Now, I'll tell this story before we get further down the road there. I've told it before. I'll tell it again now that we're on a new audience.
Yeah, we got all new people.
I love my wife, Susie Schuster. Love her. Love her. As you know, she sits in this chair, filling in as a guest host. She is the light of my life, 3 beautiful children. But before I knew her, at the Medill School of Journalism, I went and covered that press conference. Right there in the middle, I was one of the first people there, right in the middle. I looked straight, directly at the microphones that were set up where Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan were going to appear. And I made sure I was going to do it because I was covering it my first quarter at the Medill School of Journalism, Northwestern, after I graduated Michigan. But I left my post for like 30 seconds because I was in the print quarter, and there was somebody in the television quarter a few months ahead of me because you went print quarter to television quarter at Northwestern. And she was drop dead gorgeous. And I just wanted to, it was my one opportunity to chat her up.
Shoot your shot, buddy.
I left my post for 30 seconds before I went up to her and she was too busy and shut me down and I went back. A few weeks later, Sports Illustrated had a 2-page spread, not this photograph right there, but a 2-page spread from behind Jordan's microphone, looking at the media crowd, and I looked for myself in the middle, and I wasn't there. I was outside the edges where my Medill School of Journalism television quarter colleague was stationed. And so Sports Illustrated took that photograph in the 30 seconds that I was YOLOing. Okay? And I was so disappointed. It was a lose-lose for me. Now put the photograph up, Don. Today I wake up and I see this Sports Illustrated put that large photograph of The Last Dance out. And I'm like, could it possibly be taken from an angle where I'm back in my spot? So I zoom in, top left corner of that spot, where it would be right in the middle. There I am. Hey! And look at that lid. Look at the hair hanging over.
Hair hanging down, Rich.
I'm in need of a haircut. No, I'm looking at notes, Don. This is way before smartphones.
93. No
93.
Yeah, there's no cell phone.
I have that. I'm taking notes. I am working. I'm a student.
Well, you were working, but
journalist.
Yeah,
you were
I was working it.
Trying to work.
I was working it, but that's me working.
Wow.
Look at me.
That's
Look
great.
at that. Look at that. That's me.
I mean, Rich.
But you could see I dressed in a sport coat, a tie.
Sure.
Because you never know who you're going to run into.
Black suit, black tie.
Thank you.
Or get shot down by.
Very proud of myself. Great day today, man. Woke up, saw that photograph, and I'm thinking to myself, is it possible that that's from an angle that proof that I was there? There I was.
You could be like that again, Rich.
I can't even put my glasses on now.
No, I'm kidding.
Let's go to the phone lines here because, again, we have Tom Everett Scott is our last guest in our final hour, and he's coming on. Jeffrey Wright's coming on from Westworld after the commissioner. He's got a GoFundMe page being brought up that he's put up there. This is after the commissioner of the NFL comes on to feed the healthcare workers in Brooklyn during the pandemic. That's Jeffrey Wright. That's what he's going to do. Talk about a little bit of Westworld. And he's a diehard Washington Redskin fan as well. And then we have Tom Everett Scott after him to finish up. He and the cast of That Thing You Do are getting back together. They're getting the band back together. The Wonders is the fake band in the beautiful Tom Hanks film that he wrote and directed and starred in, That Thing You Do, back in the day. That's the Wonders from the film. Tom Everett Scott on the left there, the young Squire, and the rest of the Wonders are getting back together for a watch party on YouTube later today to raise funds for Music Care's COVID-19 Relief Fund. And that got us to talking your Mount Rushmore of Tom Hanks movies, on which That Thing You Do would be for me. It's a perfect film. Perfect. So our buddy Jonders in Indiana is a longtime fan of this show. Let's get you on here, Jonders. Got about a minute for you, bud. What's going on, man?
Okay, so you're talking about watching movies with your family, too. On Disney Plus, Turner and Hooch. I know you guys are a big dog family. Turner and Hooch is the way to go for a movie night.
Okay, for the kids? All right, we could do that.
But it's such a sad ending.
No, stop! Spoiler alert. You can't do that with the kids.
That's what I mean. You can't
do
watch it with kids.
All right, Jonders, you don't have children.
Also, wait, can I quick? No, no. Women find me repugnant, so I'm never going to
stop that.
But can I throw out that talking about people with kids, Mother's Day is coming up. Willie Brown, we lost him last year. We need somebody at the draft to remind people that Mother's Day is coming up.
That's true. I know you do that all the time. God bless it. Thanks for the call, Jonders. I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll mention that too. Willie Brown, I loved him. Raider, great. Miss him. Turner and Hooch can't do that to the kids.
Can't do it to the kids, man.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Won't
great,
do it.
Great movie, fun movie.
Won't do it.
Beautiful dog.
Yeah, for me, it's if it's a Mount Rushmore, it's Forrest Gump, Castaway, That Thing You Do.
I mean, that's
big. I got to go big. Got to go big.
Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan.
On the cutting room floor.
I know.
Da Vinci Code.
Apollo 13 is another
13.
perfect
That's
movie,
what I mean.
too. Oh, my God.
I know, Mike, you're right. There's
16.
10.
You could
There's
do a
10.
16
You could do
easy.
a Tom Hanks bracket.
You could do a bracket.
Really?
Yeah,
Right.
you could do a whole bracket.
It's a couple moments last week getting on the air for NBCS, and I thought we were trying to build the LEM. You were getting the coffee cups out there. Let's cut them up.
Did you have one
Get
of those
on the air?
Did you have one of those things that do not touch?
Yeah, I know. Do not touch.
Me and Brockman
I know.
out of me.
My gosh. I do love
Great
Apollo
movie.
13.
That's one of the greatest.
Gosh.
The other day, they did a thing online where you could watch the timeline of Apollo 13 from start to finish in real time.
The commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell, is the first guest at the top of our third hour. We will talk about a way that you can supplement your draft coverage. ESPN NFL Network has a simulcast on both those networks on Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday. But the Draft-a-thon is what I'm hosting. And I'm very excited to let you know about because it's going to raise as much money as we possibly can for 6 charities that are on the front lines of fighting COVID-19 or supporting those who are affected by it. And you could see it's on every possible social media and digital platform. And then we'll also talk about the possibility of when the season might go down and the schedule coming out. And then Jeffrey Wright of Westworld and the young squire from That Thing You Do, Tom Everett Scott, and you, Hour 3. Now, you told him about how you are the Bill Walsh of audio executives.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
can't screw these up. Your favorite catchphrase from the original Predator. Go ahead, here's one.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
All right, that's number 1. Here's number 2.
Okay.
Get to the chopper!
Can't hear them at all.
Okay. You can't hear them?
Cannot hear them. Yes. I'm just kidding.
You can't hear them.
So what I'm gonna do? I'm doing this blindfolded. Wait a minute. The sound. Wait a minute.
No,
Did
they're
Bill
up above.
Walsh not have the volume up? Did the Bill Walsh of sound engineers not have the volume up for the segment?
Please.
Oh my God! Oh
We can
boy,
kill it.
this does not bode well.
Can you go? Oh, there's a method to his madness. Do you want to try one more time now?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, man.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Okay, if it bleeds,
we can kill it.
Okay, here's the next one.
Get to the chopper!
Get to the chopper.
And here's the other one.
One ugly mother.
Okay, there's that one.
Okay.
Start, bench, cut.
All right, get to the chopper, gets cut. Because it's only an incidental line, and the only reason we remember it is because he's Austrian. If anybody else said, get to the choppers, it wouldn't have been a line. It wouldn't have been a line. It's only because he's Austrian. Cut. It's superfluous. We're gonna bench your one ugly MFer. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Because it's a succinct line, and it's done in a very naturalistic way.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Very well done.
That's just
Now, for everybody else who comes in here on the Rich Eisen show,
the
we're going to
benchmark.
show
I'm
them.
setting the bar here.
We're going to show them this start, bench, cut because you have raised the bar, Keegan.
Setting the
Michael
bar
Key.
right here.
We're gonna edit out Del Tufo
just gonna
messing up
say-
the audio. We're gonna edit that out.
Can you edit that
We're gonna edit that out.
No,
It's too good.
Perfect.
is The Rich Eisen Show.
Mooch, you there?
Yeah.
Well, we noticed it was the 20th anniversary of Tom Brady being drafted today.
Live from The Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
And we wanted to wish you a happy Giovanni Carmazzi Day, Steve.
I hate your guts.
Earlier on the show, NFL analyst Charles Davis, Denver Broncos linebacker Von Miller, NFL Network analyst Daniel Jeremiah. Coming up, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, plus actor Jeffrey Wright. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
Final hour of the Rich Eisen Show on the air here on NBCSN, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show, and Sirius XM Channel 211. We already had Von Miller, who tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday and immediately wanted to share his story, and he called into the show to start. Daniel Jeremiah, my NFL Network Media Group compadre, who is the draft guru extraordinaire in our shop. He gave us his 2 cents on the NFL draft. Go to our, again, YouTube page for all of that. Also, you can go to our Twitter handle at Rich Eisen Show. We're chopping things up as they go along in terms of posting our video. It's right there at our Twitter handle at Rich Eisen Show. In terms of the draft, we all know it starts 1 week from last night. We'll be coming on the air. Right now, we should be in Las Vegas, Nevada, getting ready to go. But we all know that the 2020 draft is unlike anything that we've seen before. And not only will ESPN and NFL Network have live coverage of the draft together, but there's something called the Draft-a-thon we want to tell you about. It's going to be a way to help raise money for those on the front lines of fighting COVID-19 and those that are suffering from it and need your help, need our help to come together in our world. And I'll be hosting that coverage of the Draft-a-thon. It's going to be wherever you follow the NFL digitally and socially. And it's going to start next Thursday night at 7:30 Eastern Time. And to help kick that off, I chatted with Commissioner Roger Goodell from my home office with him yesterday on Zoom. And here is that conversation. Roll it. Rich Eisen here, having a conversation about the unique nature, to say the least, about the 2020 NFL Draft that's going to start going down next Thursday night. And joining me right now to talk about this is the Commissioner of the National Football League, Roger Goodell. How are you and your family, Commissioner? Everybody good?
We're doing great, Rich. We're blessed and just worrying about everybody in our country and trying to do the best we can to support them.
Well, in terms of that, let's talk about the draft and what the NFL has planned for it. And in terms of obviously giving everybody a little bit of a break, a respite, maybe a place to find a sense of normalcy. Why hold the draft? Let's start with that. There's been a lot of question about why the NFL is continuing to move forward with the draft. I give you the floor on that subject, Commissioner.
Well, for a variety of reasons. One is, as you know, it's important to have normalcy. It's important to continue on schedule as best as you can. We've obviously modified our schedule several times. Our off-season training is different. The draft itself will be different because it's no longer a live event. We're doing it within regulations from state to state, local regulations and federal regulations. And so we're doing this in a way that I think demonstrates that you can continue to do what we need to do in this country and do it safely from home. And so that's why, all of our personnel will be safe, will be within those regulations. So we can do this in a safe fashion. And you know how important this is. I mean, our clubs want to get their rosters finalized. They want to be moving forward. And when we get done with this, they'll go right into a virtual off season that we've negotiated with our Players Association. So we want to keep on schedule as best we can, doing it safely for all our participants, including the draft eligible players who will be joining in virtually. And all of that's going to be something I think will hopefully inspire our country, but also, as you point out, it's giving us a platform to thank the people who are on the front line, and the people that have been risking their health and their families. And we want to make sure that we're recognizing them, the healthcare workers and the first responders in our military, and make sure we have a great opportunity here to provide relief funds for so many people that are in need today.
Yeah, and there's 6 charities that are specifically going to be involved with the Draftathon, as we're calling it, or Draftathon Live, and getting to that in just a moment. But in terms of, again, having the draft and any initial pushback that there may have been on that from either member clubs or others that are concerned about how the draft is going to be done, have you, to your knowledge or comfort, heard from any of the clubs on this front going into the final week of preparations from the draft about still going ahead with this, Commissioner?
Yeah, I think all our clubs are, focused on executing on the draft. We've worked with the technology. I think people are comfortable with the technology, which is important. We have a lot of great partners who are helping us with that. But, I think we're doing all we need to do to make sure we do this with a great deal of sensitivity, but also make sure that operationally it comes off well for the clubs. And our ownership was fully behind this. Every owner suggested that we continue to stay on schedule and do the draft. And frankly, there were really many alternatives, Rich. If we were delaying this, when we were delaying it till, what are the solutions? We needed to move forward and we needed to do it differently. And I think that's the key thing. We are doing this draft differently, and that leads to some anxiety, and I understand that. But I think our clubs are adapting really well.
Well, in terms of doing it differently, certainly the broadcast it can I guess be proof of that, visual proof of that, with ESPN and NFL Network combining together for a single broadcast on multiple platforms. And then, of course, there is what we're going to get into a little bit more heavily right now, and that we're announcing right now, Draftathon Live, which is going to be a digital and social tour de force of covering this draft that I am thrilled to be hosting. And I'm wondering why you wanted something like that to go down, Commissioner.
Because we know what's going on in our country. We're part of those communities. We want to give back, and we're coming out even before we announced the Draftathon with nearly $50 million as initial funds that are there, and we hope to obviously be able to do much better than that over the next few weeks, and be able to do something that is going to provide really needed resources for people on the front line and that have been impacted by this. And that's what we do, Rich. As you know, we have a great platform. This is a great platform. We think we can bring a lot of attention and a lot of thanks and gratitude to the people who are on the front lines, but also much needed resources.
And in terms of the resources of the NFL, virtually every social platform that the NFL has is going to get this Draftathon. I don't know, you want me to throw this out there, or do you want to tell us what this is all about? I mean, I just want to go through what this Draftathon Live really is, so people understand what's coming.
Well, I think what it's going to do is really give people a chance to participate and to give back in their own way, and whatever amount that they can, to be able to contribute to relief efforts from some great organizations, 6 national organizations that will be getting the funds, 100% of those funds. And that's real important for us, and to support the work that they're doing. And this is an opportunity for everyone to be able to enjoy an NFL event, but also be able to make sure that it's going to a really great cause, and everyone to participate in a unique way.
Yeah, and just to walk through that right now, NFL.com/relief is where people can go to right now and take a look at all the details involving Draftathon, and certainly involving 6 national nonprofits and their respective relief efforts to fight COVID-19. The American Red Cross being one, the CDC Foundation's All of Us Combat Coronavirus campaign, Feeding America's COVID-19 Response Fund, Meals on Wheels COVID-19 Response Fund, as we know that this virus has hit the population that is the most vulnerable.
Absolutely.
And elderly is hit it very hard. Salvation Army and United Way, which has been associated with the NFL for decades, United Way's COVID-19 Community Response and Recovery Fund. And throughout this entire Draftathon, I know just speaking for me, it's going to be an honor to be hosting this, not only because, it's what we do with the NFL Media Group for an important event like this, and we do want to cover the draft, but we also want to raise as much money as possible and do that all in a way that is entertaining and informative. And I personally can't wait for it, to be very honest with you.
Well, we can't either, Rich, and we have a great host and a great co-host with Dion, and I know you're going to have a lot of special hosts, and I think it's going to be really entertaining as well as an opportunity for people to give back and to support the things that are going on in each of our communities and on a national basis. These organizations are best in class. They're doing incredible work, and we all need to support them. And my family and I are proud to be in, and I know others are going to be participating in this in a way that it's going to make us all really feel good about the end of this draft, that not only did our teams all get better, did we all restore a little hope in our teams, but also looking forward and looking towards the future and making sure that we all realize that we still have a bright future. And this is a chance for all of us to help ensure that.
Well, in the few minutes that we have left, I do want to hit on the future itself. I know that you've been involved in some conversations with the president, vice president, and other commissioners of other sports leagues. What is the stance of the NFL right now as we're sitting here about a playing season and a schedule that might be coming in May, Commissioner?
Well, we are planning on putting our schedule out, our game schedule, by May 9th. We are planning, as you can tell by the draft and by the start of the league year and by the trying to adjust to the environment we're operating in, that we're planning and working towards staying on schedule. We will be announcing our schedule by then, and we intend to do everything possible to stay focused on that and make sure that we can be prepared to execute on that, because that's where we think we'll be.
Okay, and obviously the virus will set maybe a timeline that is not known right now, obviously. Is the NFL considering more truncated season, or are there other, have you given directives to those who are putting the schedule together on that front?
Listen, Rich, one of the things we always do is we consider public safety in everything we do. It's important for our fans, our participants, our partners to all be safe. So we're obviously gonna have that in our forefront as we're making all our plans. And none of us know what the conditions will be, a week from now, much less 3 months from now or 6 months from now. So we'll be prepared for all alternatives. That's what we do, and we'll make sure that we're ready to adjust. We're working with all the authorities. You mentioned the president's got all of the sports together. I think people want to see sports back. We want to do it safely, and we want to do it safely for everybody. And so we're all working together to make sure we find ways to do that, supporting one another, but making sure that we do our part to get the economy going and to get people back in a place where we have some sense of normalcy.
And is there some date by which you may have out there discussing amongst the league by which you need to make a decision?
No, Rich, that's why we're going to be prepared, right? We're prepared, and we're moving on the basis of making sure we're ready for the season. And, we'll have to adjust if something, in some way interferes with that, and it's in the best interest of public safety.
Okay. And in terms of the draft, a lot has been made about from where you will be announcing. Is there a commissioner man cave that we're going to be let into? There
actually is a commissioner man cave, and you will get a front row seat. Okay. It's where I do watch games on Sundays in the fall when I'm home and not traveling, or in the office. But it's again, it's part of the stay-at-home effort. Stay home, stay strong, and we want to make sure that we're doing this the right way. No one is going to be at the facilities. As you know, we've closed all NFL facilities across the league. We obviously aren't doing this the same way we did it with the Las Vegas fans, but we'll be back hopefully in Las Vegas shortly. But we're going to do this in a way I think that's going to be entertaining and fun, and give people insight to how teams are building their rosters.
Okay, and will your family be there for the first pick? Add some sort of energy to the draft hall or anything like that?
No, as you know, we're restricted in the number of people who can be in the room. So it's functional people only, as they say. So, and don't tell my family I said they weren't functional.
I said, don't want to get you in trouble. All right, I want to get you in trouble.
I didn't say essential. I just said functional.
We heard that. I heard that. So if you obviously it's going to be a long night. If you need any sort of coffee or any caffeine at the end of the night, I have something for you. I'm going to send there. I've got a Rich Eisen show mug for you.
You got it. Here's the problem. It'll be hot chocolate because I'm not a coffee drinker, but that's okay.
No kidding. I think that might be the biggest news of all right here.
And by the way, I won't need energy on draft night. It's one of my favorite nights. There's going to be a lot of interaction, of course, virtual with the draft eligible players. I'm actually having a conference call, several conference calls with all of the draft eligible players that would have been in attendance in Las Vegas. And we'll have a lot of interaction with them. And I think all of us are looking forward to that. It'll be different, but it'll be fun.
I bet it will be for sure. Well, this is where I'll be right here.
Is that the Rich Eisen man cave?
It's not. I don't have a man cave, but it is just my setup. I've got books that I haven't read in a very long time behind me. If you've noticed, everybody's got books behind them in their home office setting to make it look like they're well read. But that is me at the greatest institution of higher learning at the University of Michigan, going out on the field. I got that going on here.
I knew you were going to get that plug in.
That makes two plugs now. That makes two plugs. Though there is an I in Rich and Eisen. At any rate, I'm thrilled to I'll be here for the Draftathon Thursday night, Friday night on all the social media partners, all the digital platforms. The teams will be involved. NFL.com, everybody pulling together, and we'll try and raise as much money as possible.
You're going to do a great job, and I look forward to being with you when I can in between picks. But I think you're going to be spectacular, and we're looking forward to it, and know that we're going to do some great work that night. So thank you.
I'll be sure to give you the password to the room so you can get in. You get that. Thank you.
Good to see you, Rich. Good luck.
Yeah, that's the commissioner of the National Football League right here. So you saw it, Draftathon Live, starting at 7:30 Eastern on Thursday night. Dion and I are going to be in a room, just a digital chat room, just chatting away, and it'll be on Twitter and Facebook and Twitch and YouTube. It's going to be on Reddit as well.
Can't wait.
It's going to be on NFL.com. All 32 teams are pitching in. The guest list is vast. Vast guest list. I believe Kevin Hart's already been booked to be one of our first guests to start things off. I mean, that's the way it's going to go. It's going to be chill, and I'm glad it's going to be chill because I don't know if you noticed a couple times during that interview, I was looking down a little bit. Did you notice I was looking down a little bit? Dylan, the white golden, came barging in the room. Yeah. Oh, my dog.
Make sure the lock works.
I mean, it just, just got to get the kinks out.
I got an on-air light if you need one.
Just got to get the kinks. We're working on it. Don't worry. I got again, and as the commissioner just mentioned, that is news right there. Getting the schedule out by May 9th. That's another reason why I guess the home office camera's coming, because I'll be part of that schedule release show, where it could be, hey, here's a 12-game schedule, here's an 8-game schedule, but I'm sure the full 16 will be thrown out right there. And I'm knocking on wood if you're with me that we get all 16 games. So that's how we're rolling here on this show. I appreciate everybody who putting that together for the NFL social group and everybody here on the Rich Eisen show for putting that together. Jeffrey Wright of Westworld will be coming up talking about raising money to feed healthcare workers in the borough of Brooklyn. Your phone calls at 844-204-RICH and the actor Tom Everett Scott from That Thing You Do, right behind Jeffrey. So when we come back here on NBCSN, as we're chatting with our YouTube 454 crew, as well as our friends on Sirius XM Channel 211, every single day now from noon to 3 Eastern. We're glad to be back on right there. Jeffrey Wright's going to be joining us. He's been on this show before. He's a diehard Washington Redskins fan.
Diehard. He's born and raised in D.C. area.
Washington, D.C., I know. Yeah. And so he'll be joining us on the show. Tom Everett Scott's been on before. He's a diehard fantasy football player.
New England guy. And Syracuse. Tom and I get
know
along,
that.
get
I didn't
along
know that.
great.
Syracuse. Did we?
Yeah.
We hit that with him.
We
at
hit
one
that
point,
with
right?
him, yeah.
Okay. Let's take a phone call while we're in our commercial break right here. Let's go to Rob in the great state of Michigan. Rob, you're on the Rich Eisen Show. What's up, Rob?
Hey, Rich. First of all, I think you're worrying for nothing. I mean, you still look young. The hair loss, it doesn't matter. Because you know what you haven't lost is your mind. Your mind's gotten sharper through the years.
Thank you, sir.
I've been watching you as a pioneer of the NFL Network, brother. So I think you're worrying for nothing.
Well, Rob, I appreciate you calling me a pioneer. As these guys were questioning whether I've not lost my mind across the way. They were off camera, Rob. They were given that I don't know what he's saying, but what do you have on your mind, Rob? What's on your mind, sir?
I'll tell you, I throw out an accolade. I got to throw out a little criticism, though. I don't think you're giving the Cowboy Nation much love lately, and maybe it's because you got Michael Irvin, he's always got that love, and he's always got that spirit, that Cowboy drive.
Yes.
So with that said, my question is, with Mike McCarthy, with all the stuff that we're going through with this virus, Jerry hired him, obviously, to go in a different direction with more discipline. He's got a brilliant IQ of a mind for a coach. And I'm just wondering, what do you think, what do you project, since he's going to lose, obviously, time with the team?
Right.
At the off season. So can he come in? Can he not lose a step? And
I don't know. It's a great question because and thanks for the call. All that you heard about McCarthy coming out of Green Bay was that he had lost a step, and he said that he watched every last snap of Dallas Cowboy football as he told that to Jerry and Stephen Jones, and then revealed at his press conference he hadn't actually done all that. But people get their batteries recharged and they come back stronger, and it would be glorious to have this season go on time. And the Dallas Cowboys, the number one drama in the NFL every single year, pretty much. And seeing how that all plays out with Dak and Zeke and Amari Cooper making $100 million and the defense.
I don't have the patience to jack with you
There
today.
you go. I hope so. And seeing how McCarthy looks, all of that stuff. So that'll be kind of wonderful. Let's take a break. We come back. We'll be chatting with Jeffrey Wright. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. We're here live on our simulcast on Sirius XM Channel 211, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show, and right here on NBCSN. Just had a great chat that we played for you that I did yesterday with the commissioner of the NFL, Draft-a-thon. 6 charities that the NFL is associating the NFL draft with to raise as much money for those fighting on the front lines against COVID-19 and those who are suffering from it and need help. And on that front, that's how I bring in one of our favorite guests here who has been on this program before, the red hot show Westworld on HBO every single Sunday night at 9 Eastern time. Season 3 has been going on for a month plus now. And he is a man who has put together a GoFundMe page to feed healthcare workers in the great borough of Brooklyn, New York, during this pandemic. He is none other than Jeffrey Wright. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right, Rich. Maintaining here in Brooklyn. How are you?
I am doing fine. We're maintaining here in Los Angeles, California. We know what brought this on, but why is this necessary in your world, this GoFundMe page, Jeffrey?
Well, I live in Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn. My neighborhood. I live in Fort Greene section of Brooklyn. And one of the things that defines us is the places where we gather. We've got parks, of course, and we have restaurants, which really define culture for us here, define the character of our neighborhood. And they're places where we come together and we live. We live together. So I happen to have a couple of friends who own a couple of spots here, and one of them was not a delivery-oriented business, and so we anticipated that we were going on lockdown. He was trying to shift over to delivery mode, And I said, okay, you do that. I'll amp you up on Twitter, see if you can get some good business going. I called him up the next day. I said, Mike, his name is Michael Thompson. He's over at a place called the Brooklyn Moon. I said, Mike, how'd you do today? He said, man, I got 5 orders. I'm like, oh, boy, that's not going to work. So I got pinged on Twitter that another friend, a guy named Vito Randazzo, over at a place called Graziella's, great pizza, great lasagna, the whole works, that he had been having customers call in to order pizzas on behalf of Brooklyn Hospital, which is in our neighborhood. In fact, I'm looking at it right now as I look out the window. So I reached out to Vito. I said, hey, put me in touch with the hospital. I want to see what's going on over there. He did. A guy named Lenny Singletary, VP External Affairs, incredible guy on the front lines. He said, in fact, we could use more meals because we have people working 15, 16-hour days. They're not going home. Some are sleeping in hotels. Some of the paramedics around here are sleeping in their cars. They need meals. What can you do? So we ended up putting together, March 27th was our first hit, 200 meals. We started off with 100, but because Vito had already ordered, delivered a couple of pizzas. So we started off really with 100 meals, March 27th to Brooklyn Hospital, 2 restaurants working. Since then, we've grown to 38 restaurants, providing 2,500 meals per day on average. We just crossed the $35,000 meal mark, and we're serving, I believe now, 6 hospitals in Brooklyn, 1 in Lower Manhattan, all 10 EMS and EMS stations in Brooklyn, and we just added today, I believe. As of tomorrow, we'll be delivering to 7th hospital in Brooklyn. So we're keeping, these restaurants lit, keeping their ovens hot, keeping them afloat through hard times, and getting some food to these frontline workers who have other things to concern themselves with, as opposed to where they're going to find their next meal.
And first responders, too. Almost $200,000 you've raised on your GoFundMe page, Jeffrey Wright, and all you need to do to add dollars and cents to this great cause is go to the GoFundMe homepage and search Brooklyn for Life, or go to the Instagram page of Jeffrey Wright, at JFreeWright, and hit that link right there.
You can even go, we've even got a rudimentary website that we posted up. You can go to brooklynforlife.org. There's a donate button there. It'll lead you to the GoFundMe page if that's easier too.
Jeffrey, how is it rudimentary? You don't have people in Westworld helping you out? I mean, you can. I mean, that's some high tech stuff right there, Jeffrey. Come on.
We're grassroots here, baby. We're grassroots, man. We're digging it out of the Brooklyn dirt over here.
I bet. Jeffrey Wright here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's talk a little football. Your Washington Redskins sitting second overall on the clock right here. It looks like Chase Young from Ohio State's coming your way. Do you like the changes that Washington has made with Ron Rivera and everything going on, Jeffrey?
Rich. This is such a long conversation. Change is good there, but I'm not sure if all of the necessary change has been made. I think these guys, have a great opportunity. I'm just concerned about. I'm just concerned about the general culture of the organization, frankly. You know me. We've exchanged about this. It's been decades now of, the same story. We're going to make some adjustments, and we come up with the same disappointments. Not saying that, I'm not trying to project that on now, but I don't know. I mean, we used to be – Washington used to be, a benchmark franchise in the NFL. I mean, we were kings, baby. And it's been 25 years of disappointment. It's been 25 years of a kind of, miserable, fan-unfriendly experience at that stadium. I've only been there twice since they left RFK. My mom was a season ticket holder at RFK from 1970. She passed away last fall. She was a season ticket holder at the new place, but up until the end. But I can't bring myself to go there. It's Rich. When this is a sore subject for me, man.
No,
Part
Jeffrey,
of my childhood has been stripped away from me, and
I know.
Like the trauma there.
I know you want to go.
Rich.
I know you want to go further up the flow chart. But let me just say this: Ron Rivera is a different higher than any of the hires that I think this organization has made. I dig him. I like him, and I think you're going to like him too.
I agree. I mean,
Jeffrey.
he's a serious guy. You know, there's no question about it. He's all business. But I do wonder when I look at the choices that we made. I wonder how we let a guy like Sean McVay get by. You know, he was there for 7 to 8 seasons. How do you not recognize that guy has something special going on? Obviously, the Shanahan situation was complicated with Kyle and his dad, but there's been a lot of extraordinary, young talent that's come through there, innovative talent that's come through there. I do wonder how those guys, were allowed to slip off the, out of the frame onto some other organizations where they've had extraordinary success. It makes me wonder what's going on in terms of decision making.
Jeffrey Wright here on the Rich Eisen Show. The Last Dance documentary of Jordan's coming out on ESPN over the weekend. Do you have any memories of those eras? And obviously, we all know where Michael finished up in your hometown of Washington, D.C. Do you have any thoughts on that subject, Jeffrey Wright?
Well, I mean, Jordan is just he's Jordan. He's one of the most magnificent athletes that has ever been produced in the world. And so I look forward to checking that out. He just had such a he was just such a beautiful athlete. His fierceness, which he passed down to Kobe. I mean, he was.
He did.
There are arguments about who was who's the greatest ever. For me, you can't beat Jordan. I mean, Jordan recreated the game, and he had a desire to win. He had a character about him on that court that few others can approach in any other sport. So I look forward to seeing it. But of course, I'm from D.C. I was a Bullets guy.
Yep.
Now we're the Wizards. But I'm in Brooklyn now, so I got to say I'm Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Durant and obviously Durant and Kyrie when they get healthy, and the same way you feel, or at least I picked up the sense of the way you feel about the owner of your football team. I feel similarly about the owner of the New York Knickerbockers, and the Nets. The Nets are the team in New York City now. That's a period, end of story statement, Jeffrey. There's no denying that. No denying.
No question about it. And around KD and Kyrie, when they come back in full health, got a great group of young players there. They showed that the previous season. They were showing that this season. I went to see them. I've been working on Batman over in London beginning of January, so I missed a bunch of games. But I got tickets over there, and I went to see them that when the Lakers came to town, and I said, you know what? These guys can beat the Lakers. I'm watching it. I'm saying, but it seems like, we may have read a few too many newspaper clippings here. And the Lakers, of course, are incredibly talented and also massive on the court, massive presence. But they were getting into heads, too. You had Dwight Howard, like glaring and growling. It was a lot of head games being played. But I saw that we have talent to keep up with them, and you cut to one of the final games of the shortened season, and they got them. The Nets got them. The Nets have a lot going on, and I look forward to when we start playing basketball again and see it all come together. It's gonna be sweet for Brooklyn.
Yeah. Before I let you go, Jeffrey, you mentioned the Batman. You are playing Commissioner Gordon in the Batman, which is out next year. Once again, you're playing the role of Felix Leiter in James Bond in No Time to Die, that hits theaters coming up later on this fall as COVID-19 and was moved the date of that all day and night. Available on Netflix coming up on the 1st of May. The French Dispatch out in October. It's a new Wes Anderson film, but I do want to just hit you about Westworld before.
A little something for everybody, Rich.
Everything.
Something for everybody.
My God, I mean, that was a very long list of just what's going on. I'm just so excited about what's happening with your career, and Westworld is just as hot as ever. And the reason for that, I think, is Marshawn Lynch joined the cast this year. Would you not agree, Jeffrey?
100%. 100%.
Did you cross paths with him on the set at any point?
Oh, yeah. Put yourself in beast mode. Yeah, no question. Because we don't interact, I'll say, spoiler alert,
yes.
we were on. We shoot 2-3 units at a time on any given day.
Sure.
So for the first day that we were on set at the same time, they were like, "Okay, Jeffrey, they need you on set." I'm like, "What? No, beast mode is here. They're gonna have to wait." So I had to go over and just meet him, say hello, man, and he was just a great dude, man, great character, really open, really loving being on set with us. And then, cut to 2 months later, he's back on the field.
That's right.
It was pretty. That was the first time I'd ever experienced that. Having a castmate who later went on to run for a couple touchdowns in the NFL.
Well, I don't know if you're.
Cool.
I don't know if you're aware, Jeffrey. You might not be aware. I think Anthony Hopkins did it the year before.
He did.
Yeah.
That's right.
Beast mode. Yeah. Well, no, I'm sorry. That was Silence of the Lambs. He did it 2 decades ago. My bad.
That was prior to me.
He was the first Beast Mode, I believe, as Hannibal Lecter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. He was playing back there. He might have even played back there in the days, the pre-face mask. He might have had a couple of, that was college. His college game. He was like Blanda. He was like Blanda. He played forever, man.
Jeffrey, great chat. Again, everybody should search Brooklyn for Life when you go to the GoFundMe page and join what has just been a beautiful seed growing in Brooklyn. A tree planted in Brooklyn, as we all know, is such an important, beautiful thing. GoFundMe page to feed healthcare workers and emergency service members in Brooklyn and in the city of New York during this pandemic. Thanks for joining me, Jeffrey. You're welcome here anytime.
Thank you, Rich. Just trying to maintain and stay sane and stay involved here, man.
Right back at you. That's Jeffrey Wright, at Jfree Wright on both Twitter and Instagram. He plays Bernard Lowe. By the way, Felix Leiter, too. When was the last time you saw the reboot of Casino Royale? When was the last time you saw that?
Probably like 2 days ago.
One of the best Bond movies. That's a remote drop.
And it's always on, which is great.
That is an amazing movie.
Just the poker.
That was the first Daniel Craig one, right?
Correct.
Oh.
Which was like.
By the way, that's my noise I make when I love a Bond movie. Like, oh. And then the noise that Susie makes when she walks in the room and sees Daniel Craig, she goes, "Oh,
oh yeah." He comes up on the
feel
beach.
Great. That makes me feel great. Oh.
I mean, that
got
was
no shot. I'm 000 in the house.
000.
License to ignore.
Keep going.
Oh, no, I'm done.
Keep going.
The spy who hated me.
Keep going.
And now I'm done. 844-204-RICH, number to dial. We'll take your phone calls, including that of this gentleman, Tom Everett Scott. He's in I'm Sorry on True TV. But back in the day, in the perfect Tom Hanks film, That Thing You Do, The Wonders, getting back together later this afternoon on YouTube for a fundraising watch party of that film. And we'll catch up with Tom Everett Scott when we come back here on The Rich Eisen Show. But before we bolt, I do want to let you know about Geico making bundling policies, making your life easier by letting you find out how you can bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. And it's a good thing, too, because we all know there's so much to do around the home these days. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com. Dial us at 844-204-RICH. Tom Everett Scott's going to do that on this Friday. Man, this has gone. I knew this was one of those shows you wake up, you're like, okay, 6 guests. There's so much to talk about. This one's going to go fast today.
Yeah.
And it has.
Yeah. Real fast.
It has.
Love it.
You okay over there, Mikey?
Yeah, I had a lot on my mind this morning, so I've got.
Well, at least you got a fresh haircut. You look great.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you posted the segment where you talk about The Last Dance, huh?
Yeah, I'm hitting. I've posted a ton already throughout the show at Rich Eisen Show for some clips from today's show already.
All righty.
Hit it up.
Okay. Yeah, I heard about this. Jamal Adams, virtual or real, there's no off-season workout program for him. He wants to get paid.
Yeah, and he deserves it.
I know.
He's amazing.
I don't know what's going on. They'll figure it out.
Will they?
Yeah.
What is the virtual off-season workout going to be like?
Well, I mean, I think it's just in the same way that
It's just like home gyms
my
and
kids are
stuff. Yeah,
Zooming
yeah.
and doing all sorts of stuff too. Apparently, like you get on with your trainer, and there's a few mandatory Zooms.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these guys have off-season workout bonuses, so and able to fulfill those
You
and
just
meet
gotta
those
do it.
requirements, you got to
It's
do
like
it.
It's like
And
a
they
kid in
got
school.
a team official has to check in and make sure you're, doing X, Y, and Z.
How much working out have you been doing?
I started jogging this week. Not a big runner. I've never really been a big runner, so I'm trying to work my way up to like a 5K, just something super basic.
Okay.
I do have a few dumbbells. I've been doing that. And, a lot of people on Instagram, I follow a lot of fitness people.
You
and
do?
They've been posting a bunch of home workouts and whatnot. So trying to do a
Is that
little
new?
bit here
Is
and
that
there.
new for you to follow fitness people?
No, I like just seeing what I could look like if I actually tried hard and ate properly.
Is that right?
That's why I follow Doug
So
the
what's
Pug.
what's the split on female male trainers that you follow? on
Way
that
more
front?
male, to be honest. Way more male.
Okay.
See, you follow Doug the
What
Pug. you're
workout
good.
am
You
I
don't have to worry
gonna?
about it.
I mean,
I don't know. I have no
I'm
idea.
just
I have no
saying.
idea. I don't know idea. Because I like all the Emily Ratajkowski photographs. You should see what my search looks like on Instagram.
You know when you
Because
Here's
it's
the thing.
It's,
You
it's
know
like
when
dogs
you,
and
But you liking her, you come up first on everyone else
I don't know
that
why that-
follows you.
So, I don't deserve that. Best of the week coming up. I know you want to share some stories about the great Al Kaline. I know he kind of played a prank on you when you went to spring training.
Yeah, I figured I would accept it because there were constant pranks on the new rookie, like putting heat rub in my jockstrap. But Al comes over one day, and he pulls up a stool, and he's talking about me and how I'm doing, hitting and stuff. And I see everybody staring at me in the whole locker room, and I go, boy, they're impressed. What they've done is they put a product called Skin Lube in my shoes. They fill them up. It's a little greasy substance you put on a blister.
What did they do to you? My God, Tom Selleck.
I just stuck my feet into a big pile of goo.
Oh
and
my God!
everybody laughed.
You were doing this draft from where? From your home, your basement?
Draft Central Atlanta Falcons 2020 in my office, just off my living room. 3 really cool screens on there. I'm only allowed one technology person here at my house, and that person can't be Dan Quinn from saying that he was an electrician back when he was 18. It has to be a legit tech guy.
Did you catch any of the oldest of old schools of your broadcasts?
I caught the 86 Masters rebroadcast. I was 26 years old at that time. I wasn't for sure what I had said other than the bear has come out of hibernation. As soon as I said it, I thought, why did you just repeat something that has already been uttered on this broadcast? So I went over to apologize to Frank, to Mr. Trukinian. He said, son, no one said it other than you. You're going to be doing this next year. You might be doing this for a while now.
That's
Get
awesome.
the hell out of my office and shut up.
Should we call Mooch and wish him happy Giovanni Carmazzi Day?
If he picks up, I'm going to laugh.
Mooch, you there?
Yeah.
We noticed it was the 20th anniversary of Tom Brady being drafted today, and we wanted to wish you a happy Giovanni Carmazzi Day, Steve.
I hate your guts.
By that you mean you love me, right, Steve? By that you mean you love me, right?
Yeah.
Mooch.
mean,
my God.
fantastic.
That was amazing.
Cold calling Mooch is that a great fantasy team or a great band, like a 90s pop band?
I think
Cold
that's a
calling
band.
Mooch?
That's a band.
It's a band, late 90s. One hit, but cold calling.
One hit wonder.
Hey, man, just wanted to wish you a happy anniversary of the day you and, by the way, the rest of the
Everyone,
league. Missed
the
on
Pats
Tom.
passed 6 times.
That's right, because who do we have on? These days all meld together.
It was Mel Kiper.
Mel Kiper pointed out that
yeah.
the Patriots used another draft choice earlier on in the 6th round. The 199 was a supplemental draft.
Yeah, they drafted, I tweeted out yesterday too, Antoine Harris in the 6th round.
Right, a compensatory draft choice.
12 picks before 199.
So the Patriots even passed on Brady within the round in which they actually eventually drafted him.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, we've had a heck of a show. Charles Davis, Von Miller, Daniel Jeremiah, Roger Goodell, and Jeffrey Wright. And now our final guest of the day before we close up shop in our first week, which we had a lot of fun here on this first week here on NBCSN. Do you have me practicing all week to make sure?
NBC.
SN. There we go. So we've had a great week on NBCSN. And it wraps up with letting you know how we can raise more money for those who need our assistance in this pandemic. And joining me to talk about that and how you can raise money on behalf of Music Care's COVID-19 Relief Fund at a watch party of one of my favorite Tom Hanks films, period, end of story. He knows how I feel about That Thing You Do. He is one of the stars of that film, getting back together with the rest of the Wonders band. Later today on the youtube.com/The Wonders Live watch party is Tom Everett Scott. How are you, Tom?
Hey, I'm great, Rich. Great to hear your voice. How are you doing?
Right back at you. So how did this all come about? I know, but I'd like for you to let everybody know how this all came about.
Well, last week I was FaceTiming with my buddy Steve Zahn while he was out on his farm in Kentucky. He was taking a break from putting in fence posts, and he told me in his own words that he has been social distancing for years. Right. He recently joined Instagram. He had sworn off social media completely until this happened, and his daughter convinced him to start posting hilarious videos. So we were talking about those, and he said, let's do something for the fans. So we called Jonathan Sheck and Ethan Embry. We got the band back together, and we decided to do a watch party on YouTube Live.
And it's in the, I guess, inspiration for this is paying tribute to songwriter producer Adam Schlesinger, who passed away, lost his battle with COVID-19. He wrote the song That Thing You Do, correct, Tom?
Yes, Adam Schlesinger wrote the song That Thing You Do. We lost him way too soon. He was only 52 years old. The man had an incredible career, so talented, had done many, many different things, one of which being nominated for an Oscar for Best Song for That Thing You Do. And he thread the needle on this one. He had to write a song that would be a hit in the 60s that had to have the words That Thing You Do. There were 300 submissions for this, including one that Tom Hanks and producer Gary Getzman wrote themselves. But Adam's song prevailed, and that's the one that became a hit in the 90s as a result of being in the film. And it's just a perfect song.
It is a perfect song, and it's a perfect film as well. So how is this watch party going to go down? Who's involved, and how can people get involved?
Okay. So it's going to start at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel, which you said, youtube.com/The Wonders Live. It's definitely the Four Wonders. We are going to make some noise for the healthcare workers right at 7 p.m. Eastern. We are going to press play together. Everyone get your copy of the movie. Yep. Get it queued up. Mm-hmm. And we are going to all press play together and watch the movie. And we're going to tell stories and laugh and quote and sing along to the theatrical version, the 108-minute original theatrical version.
How old were you? How old were you when you were on the set there, Tom?
So right around my 25th birthday in 1995, Tom Hanks called me at my apartment in New York to tell me that he was going to cast me in the movie after I had done a round of auditions. Then I started learning the drums for 2 months. A month by myself and a month with the band out here in LA. And then we started filming, so 2 months after September, so around, November in 1995. And it was one of the greatest experiences of my life.
I bet. And what is it like getting a call from Tom Hanks at age 25 to say, I've written and I've directed a film and it's very important to me and I'm going to cast you in a very important role?
It's one of those moments where I think I left my body and kind of watched it happen from somewhere up around the ceiling. He was so cool about it. He was just like, hey, is this Tom Scott? And I said, yeah. He said, it's Tom Hanks. And he said, I just want you to know, I remember when Ron Howard called me at home to ask me to be in his movie Splash. And he said, I always thought that was a cool thing that he did. So that's why he called me personally. It was great. I mean, fantastic. My hero, calling me. It was so surreal. It was such a dream come true. And then everything after that, becoming friends with all the guys and having that experience, and to this day being able to still celebrate it is just, such a great thing.
And I saw, obviously, Tom Hanks was hosting the Saturday Night Live at Home last weekend, and at one point, as I think he was introducing Chris Martin of Coldplay as the musical guest, he had his Playtone Records sweatshirt on, and obviously Playtone is a name of his company for so many years, his production company for so many years. Is he and or Liv Tyler potentially in the offing later today on YouTube.com/?
Well, we were all hoping that we were going to be able to get all these great guests onto this thing. I know that Liv is probably not going to happen because she's in the UK. It'd be 1 a.m. for her. She's got she's got a gaggle of kids, so I don't think she's going to make it. But we're hoping that we'll get like something from Mr. White tonight. I know that Colin Hanks is going to join us, and we've got a couple other special guests that are going to jump in there.
Love it.
So we'll see. It'll be fun for the fans.
Hey, Tom, you know what I've told you many times when certainly we're on the set of I'm Sorry, where I was holding a goldfish, and people still tweet at me about my goldfish on that set with Andrea Savage and you. This
just the goldfish, Rich.
Well, yeah, I don't know if that's
famous phrase.
I don't know if it's. I don't think that's safe for work right here on all of our platforms. But this movie is special, man. You were special in it, and for you to, all the other young squires to return today on behalf of MusiCare's COVID-19 Relief Fund, it's really neat. So as soon as I heard about it, I'm like, I have to have you call in and let's raise as much money as possible, Tom.
Well, I really appreciate it, Rich. Thank you for helping me spread the word. I'm glad that you're doing well, and I wish you the best.
Right back at you. That's Tom Everett Scott. Follow him on Twitter, Tom E. Scott, at Tom E. Scott. Right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's do as much as we can, right?
Boom. Absolutely.
Oh, man. I mean, that's one of the many aspects of this is, again, we started this show with Von Miller, 31-year-old, 8-time Pro Bowler, who said that he's done everything that he could do, with the exception of having nobody from the outside world in his house. I mean, he did have some people who were working on the house coming in and out, and he said who were already, but he also had some people already with him before. Here he's a 31-year-old with asthma, and now he's got it. And so many people we know are by themselves right now, by themselves. My mom out there, I believe she's watching right now. Love you, Mom. She's by herself right now. My mother-in-law, by herself right now. So many people by themselves, and it's very difficult. It's so difficult. The social distancing aspect of this, so difficult for people to maintain. And we all know, obviously, the ultimate difficulty is if you get sick or you're on the front lines, preventing yourself from getting sick, to keep sick people from getting sicker or passing away and make sure that they get better. And clearly that these are challenging, the most challenging times. But these are the times when we can all raise our game, to use this sports phrase. Raise our game and help one another. And then when you look around, you look around and you see the roads are empty, or you're trying to stay away from somebody, and it makes you feel like it's an out-of-body experience. But maybe we look at the void that we see, and we think that void actually represents us coming together and working together to get through this faster. And that's part of the reason why we're here every day, to help maybe fill the void as we're social distancing here on this show, to come here every day and then go home and spend time with our loved ones and family and call up people. I know you're calling your mom.
Every day.
Right? Out there in New Jersey. So if you're out there and you want to watch the Wonders reunite and watch That Thing You Do with the cast of That Thing You Do,
Sounds like a great idea.
You want to help out people on the front lines in the city of New York? I was born in Brooklyn. That's where my parents were born, too. Go to Jeffrey Wright's GoFundMe page. Just put Brooklyn for Life in to search for that. Next Thursday, there's the Draft-a-thon. 6 different charities are associated with that, and there's so many more for us to look for and look towards. And that's next week, too. So I just want to say to everybody here on the show, and certainly to our friends at NBCSN and SiriusXM, and everybody out there listening to us, watching us, certainly on our YouTube stream as well, just stay safe. Enjoy the weekend. The Last Dance will be on Sunday night. That'll be great for us to take in. B.J. Armstrong of the championship Bulls teams before the second iteration of the Bulls championship
the first
run.
repeat, yeah.
Right? He'll be on Monday's show to give his thoughts on the documentary. He's taking part in that.
Love it.
Even though he wasn't on the Last Dance team, but he kind of knows Jordan, what it's like to play with the guy. And Gary Vaynerchuk, who is part of the inspiration of the All-In Challenge that's going on. The commissioner received a challenge from Tom Brady. The commissioner's now passed it on in part to Eric Stonestreet.
Yep.
And so we'll talk with Gary, and then John Lynch of the 49ers will join us next week. So in the meantime, everybody stay home, stay safe. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for taking in this edition of The Rich Eisen Show. And we will see you next Monday. It's draft week next week. Something to look forward to there as well. We will chat then. But for all of us here at The Rich Eisen Show, signing off.